I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, was that a triple stun for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. Special guest today, but first I want to thank our lovely patrons. Badgerana, Britton Clark, Infrax Hawaiian, Auscultation I Has Issues, Jeremy Johnson, Callahan, Millard, Carrot, Mayo Knight, Minaria, Ponism, Slytech, and Talus Acceptum. Thank you guys so much, and everybody else who supports us on Patreon, and everybody who supports us on our streams as well. You guys are fucking awesome. We appreciate it. Our guest today, we were hoping to have the Node War demo on, and then we were going to spend the entire podcast talking about the new Node Wars, but demo doesn't exist. But we're still going to have him on, and he's got a lot of opinions about stuff going on in the game today. We spent like 40 minutes talking about shit before we even started the podcast. Should have been recording. It is Scarleta. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Hello, video world.
Now,
Thanks for having me on.
For those people who maybe don't know who you are, why don't you give a brief explanation of who you are, how long you've been playing, etc., etc.
Oh boy, alright, well, Scarleta Shade, I've been playing for too long. since beta. And been a Maywa since pretty much the entire time. First day that it came out, I knew it was the class for me as soon as I saw Red Moon. But it was a Valk before that at launch. I was on the Orwin server with the Veritas Guild and pretty much just stayed with them until server merge. Went to play with, who was it? Iconic at first. Oh god, Iconic. That's so long ago. Then I went from there to Vertex, and there I've stayed. And a few months ago, about 5 or so, I was actually elected GM, as I was just the best fit for the role at the time. And I think things have been going pretty well so far.
Elected? So was there a vote?
It was more of just a kind of decision of all the leadership.
All right. Well, it seems like you've been doing a decent job. Vertex has gotten pretty strong recently. At least
I think
from an outside perspective.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, we like hearing that. I think we are doing pretty well. We've got a good group of core community members that are in there every day, and they're pretty much like the foundation that everything is built on in Vertex. Without the community, Vertex really wouldn't exist. So shout out to you guys, my homies.
So Vertex, huh? So you were around during Vertex's transition then? And were you in Vertex during the Vudani days?
Yeah. Vudani, Sov, Stalker, Evenson, of course.
And then afterwards as well with Vanguards, right? Wasn't Vanguards GM for a little bit? Or was he just shot caller?
Vanguards? No, he was just shot caller.
Yeah, he was a shot caller. Who was the GM at that time when he was the shot caller?
Oh, we do not speak his name.
Oh, right, wait. That was the boot. That was the mass booting, right?
That was the snap.
I forgot, dude. I forgot. That was the mass.
I know.
Booting. Yeah.
It's crazy because we actually came back stronger. We really did.
Yeah, that like in that moment, it wasn't looking good for Vertex. I'm gonna be honest.
No.
That point, from the outside perspective, I was like, well, I knew it was gonna be hard with Winter and Vudani gone, and they had a good run, and now they're being kicked out of their guild during a siege. So it's
crazy.
Hard to recover from this.
Yeah, I mean, we had everything agreed to beforehand, that I was going to be the temporary person he was going to transfer power to, and he just didn't. Like right in the middle, just everyone started getting snapped. It's hilarious to look back on, but at the time, and even at the time, it was kind of funny. But that's a guild killer right there.
Yeah,
you're right. You really don't usually recover from that. So looking back on it, with us being where we're at, it's kind of funny now, but it could have been like something devastating.
It's too easy as a normal. So for context, in the middle of a siege, the GM's we don't have to say his name, but in the middle of siege, I guess he was scheduled to transfer power, right? Like at some point afterwards.
Yeah.
So in the middle of a siege war, he just starts kicking every single member out of the guild. Right? Was it basically everybody? Did he kick everybody? Was it just him left?
He kicked everyone that he could. He couldn't kick me and a few others because I had actually placed the fort that week for siege.
Ah.
So then he kicked everyone that he could and then paid himself out. And the hilarious part, he didn't even get $1 billion.
Yeah. Well, he got. Remember when Summit 1G got that 800 mil payout and everyone freaked out? It's just like so funny in retrospect, like how little money that is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not a lot.
But I was going to say, like, when that happens, as just like a normal member, if I'm in a guild and you're already it's hard, right? It's a struggle to begin with, sieging and stuff. It can be exhausting, and especially if you're not winning a lot. And you guys were in a weird transition point where it was a lot more difficult to win than it had been in the past. So if that happens, it's just really easy for a normal member to be like, you know what? I'm kind of sick of the drama. I'm just going to go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think that speaks to the community in Vertex, though, that we all kind of stuck together through that.
Yeah. And then it got stronger. You became GM, and like kind of a while after. That was a long time ago now, at this point.
I don't even remember how many months.
Yeah.
If it's past 6, then that's awesome, because I think that's the curse.
Oh, yeah.
My first goal was to beat the curse of swapping GMs every 6 months.
I'm pretty sure that was more than 6 months ago. That was like...
That was a while ago.
Yeah, that was like around when Successions were just coming out, if I remember correctly.
Oh, shit.
So it's kind of a while back. So now you're in Vertex and are running things, and things are looking kind of good, right? I think. Where do you rank you guys in the top 10?
I wouldn't say I'm totally running things. It's a leadership team, it really is. Schisms, Evenson, Loyal, myself, and even the advisors we have. They're what keeps the ship afloat. And
Yeah.
where would I rank Vertex?
Where are you guys? How strong are you guys?
You know, it's really hard to say, because like things are kind of in flux again. Like we're in the churn.
Yeah.
Bassie died. That's a big
Bassie died and Filter.
big page turner. So
Filter right here.
where do we go from here with us, Cho, and I mean, who else? They're gonna have to remake the Siege for Dummies meme now.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the Brutal guys. I don't know if you saw that, but it had our alliance like in it, and
That was Godicus from Black Rose.
it was pretty funny. I liked the editing, but yeah, it needs to update the content now.
It's outdated.
We're in a new era.
Yeah, things happen fast. So from my point of view, I haven't been following Siege as closely, but I still like look and see who wins every week and kind of get an idea. But I would at least say Vertex is top 4 now, like pretty solidly. I think it's probably just Snake, Cho, Black Rose, Vertex, in whatever order you want to put them. And then it's sort of a different level, but maybe you don't feel that way. I don't know. Does that feel right?
That's a pretty good TLDR, I think. Yeah, it's just look at the number of siege guilds, guys. Please, if you're out there and like wanting to get into Siege, please come. We'll help you out. We just need more players at the table.
Yeah. Why do you think people are not participating in Siege?
Suck Wiz. Fuck. Suck Wizard. It has ruined, not fully ruined, because we're still playing it, but it is so terrible for the current meta. It is, and the devs seem fine with it. A class that can do it all.
Yeah. Have you tried playing Mewa in a large-scale war in the last 4 months?
Sure, yeah. My last time playing Mewa, I was I actually got Stormtrooper, so it's possible, and off-meta classes can do it. It's just you're going to be putting out 3 times the effort that is required on a Succ Wizard.
Yeah. Not to discredit your Stormtrooper or anything, but it did get devalued a little bit by those 10-second respawn timers. There's just more bodies.
I don't know about that.
There's more bodies to kill, right? You respawn 6 times as fast.
Actually getting that well in advance of all this stuff.
That helps with the big AoE and ranged classes that can do that. But us small AoE classes, melee classes, don't really get that much of a boost from it. There may be more targets out there, but they're still on a ball.
Yeah.
And us melee classes trying to fight in a ball is like impossible. So we're pretty much relegated to the skirmish outskirts outside of the ball.
So what needs to change with Succ Wizard in order for people to be like, all right, let's go back to Siege?
What sucks is like you don't want to kill the class, and I get that's probably where the developers are coming from. But there has to be some kind of compromise with the amount of damage you can do from range and in AoE after just teleporting. There has to be some compromise. So I think the damage needs to be tuned down. And I think overall, just range should be reined in. It's crazy you can do that much damage with a meteor from like render range.
Yeah. It's one of the things I always find kind of crazy is like, obviously like Succ Ranger can put out similar damage, right? But if someone gap closes on a Succ Ranger, that Succ Ranger's in a lot of trouble. They're not still putting out a ton of damage, and now they're kind of running for their life, trying to defend themselves. Whereas like, you gap close on a Succ Wizard, you're probably going to lose that to the Succ Wizard.
Yeah, because they can trade you.
Yeah.
Succ Rangers are in a pretty good spot right now. They can just rain that damage from range, and I mean, what are you going to do about it if you can't engage on it?
Right. I mean, even if they changed, I know a lot of people always say like, well, split teleport's too strong, or it shouldn't be able to instant cast after teleport. But I think about Wizard or Witch the way Succ Witch is, and I made this comment the other day, and let me know if you agree or disagree, and to what level. Because I honestly think if Vertex right now, you have how many Wizards Witch would you say participate in a siege? About
probably between, I think 40, 50. I don't think we
40 and 50.
Top 50.
So let's just say 40. Make a nice even number. If 40 of your players switched to Witch, and Wizard wasn't in the game, would it even feel that much different, or it would be kind of the same exact problem?
I think you have highlighted one of the biggest issues that needs to be mentioned with Succ Wiz is the double TP. That is so powerful. That probably needs to go away. But then what do you do? What does that do to Succ Wizard in 1v1s? Pretty much the same thing that happens to Succ Witch in 1v1s. So they don't want to get rid of the double TP because that hamstrings them. But yes, if Succ Wizard got nerfed to the ground tomorrow and Succ Witch was left the way it is, you would probably see the shift to Witch.
Yeah.
Succ.
But would that change like anything really in Siege?
No.
Oh, that's the thing that's kind of rough about it. So I'm wondering, like, because they changed PA, that was nice. Do you notice a difference? Like, does it feel dramatic? Did it change your guys' strategies or approach at all?
Yeah, it made Succ Wiz more powerful. I'm not beaming. It did.
Yeah, I mean they just do more damage to everybody now, right?
Yeah,
like even through PA.
Yeah, and you can just TP in and voltaic frigid fog, and PA does like nothing now. So it just made the most meta class more meta.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how Like, they did the one thing that everybody said not to do. Everybody was like, yes, nerf PA, but you can't just nerf PA and not do anything else.
Yeah.
Like, there's gotta be some subsequent changes somewhere. And then they did exactly that. They nerfed PA, and then they were like, alright, Siege is fixed. We did it.
I think what they've done is they've taken it out, and now this is a period of time where they collect data.
Well,
I
yeah,
hate-
this is
I hate this
where
about
they're
them.
going to use this and see we need to have PA at 999
No,
dB.
no, I don't think so.
Really?
Well,
You give them that
won't.
much credit?
well,
No,
it's
they
not
won't
that
put
it's
it
that
back
much
in.
credit.
Nah, they're-
It's just I mean, like, if you look historically speaking, outside of like core skills, which is really only half put back in from the old days, they really don't put things back after they change them. They're like kind of strange about that. Which I pointed out.
They did it with
that
the mouse movement. They did it with
that was never taken
on
out. It
Global
was
Labs,
never
though.
taken out. So they didn't do that. Like
They did it with the frame rate.
Okay, the frame rate thing, yeah, but that was like literally causing bugs. Like you couldn't mount
Example.
your horse.
You can't just put a fucking condition on it. Like, oh well, I
Well,
did this.
they haven't changed balance. Like they generally do not change balance and then go back and completely revert the change. Even Crowflare, which is a good example from chat, they didn't even fully revert it. It doesn't give you the shards back. They half reverted it.
The only example that they have done is Renown.
Yeah, it's Renown. Renown is the biggest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying traditionally they don't really, like, that's not their pattern, that they're going to like give us something just to show us we're wrong and then take it back. It's not really their style. Their style is more just ignore us entirely.
Well, their style is let us complain about PA for a good 3 years, and then in the queue system it finally comes up for them to fix it. So now we got to wait another 3 years for them to actually address the Succ Wizard thing. See?
Yeah,
See?
because someone keeps...
We're in the queue.
Someone
We're in
keeps
the
spamming them
queue.
fucking emails, clogging up the system.
So to be fair, that hasn't worked. That hasn't worked in about 1.5 years.
So
In case,
I do remember he'd send me screenshots all the time.
yeah,
let's
Be like,
say in
fuck Perlabis, fuck Perlabis.
I'm reformed.
let's say in a hypothetical world, WizWitch is reduced in effectiveness in large scale. So it's now just an average to above average class in large scale.
So they
it's,
deleted
but
it?
it's still strong in 1v1. What changes for Vertex? Like, does that completely change the landscape of Siege? And does that make Siege more fun, not being based around like WizWitch, in your opinion?
Well, if you
I think there's gonna be a
don't-
lot less tagged Succ Wizards.
yeah, if you don't touch the other range classes, like people just make Succ Rangers then and Archers, that goes back to being the meta, like it was when they came out. Archer, that is.
Mm-hmm.
So again, range reigns supreme, and that's not a problem with just BDO. That's been a problem in almost every MMO. It's such an advantage being able to pew pew from range.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to engage. You just stand back and shoot your pretty looking spells. It's not the way I like to play, but some people really do.
With that, though, hypothetically, if that were to be the case, that would actually make it not as much of an issue. Those Rangers are far more susceptible to being caught
Sure.
than a Succ Wizard, and they don't have the engage potential, and they don't have the utility potential.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're talking about a totally different landscape on how this can go. You could actually have a really strong front line deal with that.
I'd rather play that meta than the current one.
Same.
Yes, I
Well,
agree.
also-
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a counter to it. Like, you can actually maybe burst through with the front line, so to speak, because you know that they don't have the utility to back up all that damage from ranged.
Imagine a world where it's mostly Rangers and Archers, right? And you're a ninja, and you're in concealment. Like, imagine just from a ninja's point of view in concealment, you're looking at the back line, and there's 10 Rangers right there, versus you're looking at the back line, and there's 10 Wizards. Like, which one are you more excited to jump into?
Yeah, exactly. It means a flex class actually has an opportunity to do some game-changing like move right there.
Now, Maewa's going to get slow debuff to shit, and they're never going to
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
Rangers.
They'll see us a mile away and they'll just fucking blow us up. No problem.
That brings us nerfing to Ninja and Kuno, please. The best skirmisher besides Suck Wizard right now. The only one that really can consistently make it work in large scale is really Ninja.
You know, that kind of brings us to the tier list thing. Do you think Awaken Ninja or Suck Ninja is
I
more
think Suck
viable?
Ninja's the better, just because it has those crazy huge AoEs. Like, what the fuck? That stuns everything in an AoE around it? Ugh. It's like an entry-level skirmisher.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see our tier list? I'm curious to get
I
your
haven't.
thoughts on it. Do you have that picture still, Frosty?
I don't have a picture, no.
Okay, I'll grab it real quick.
Totally forgot about
We don't
mentioning
have to
tier
like
list in
we don't have to
AEW.
go through it point by point, but I am interested to see if you think you agree or disagree overall.
Sure.
Because the feedback on it, I feel like, and I think Frosty, you said this in the group chat as well, has been pretty positive. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Well, for a tier list, right? Because there's
Yeah,
obviously
for a
still a
tier
lot of
list. Yeah.
negative, but I just expected a 90% negativity, and I was surprised to only get 40 or 50%, you know?
Yeah, from a political standpoint, that's really good. You know, we can work with that.
All right, let's see. I'm posting this in the group chat.
So you said,
Scarleta, this is overall PvP. So this is
Mhm.
taking into account 1v1s, like small scale and large scale. I mean, is there anything that you would say like, whoa, that seems super out of place? And don't be afraid to like call us fucking retarded. Like, just be speak freely.
I'm looking.
There has been some comments that have been pretty
Well, I just wouldn't
funny though.
I wouldn't give the same letter rating to Witch and Wizard that I would to any other class. It's like they're the S and everything else is A.
Yeah, that was basically the idea. Like, even though Suck Valk, for example, is extremely strong, same with Awaken Valk.
Oh wait, never mind. I see what you've done. Okay. The A's and the S's are the
Yeah.
Awakening and Succession.
Succession
Never mind.
Awakening, yeah.
No, you've got that right then.
we nailed it.
Yeah, Awakening Valk.
Yeah, how do you view Awakening Valk versus Suck Valk in your life?
Like it's they have their ulti and that's it.
That's kind of
just-
how it
that's
feels to me. I mean, they do have some other stuff, and with the bond skills, they've improved, and their mobility improved with the shield chase thing, but so did Valk. I just feel like the AoE protected CC AoE damage on Suck just makes it...
It finds
I
gaps
just see
that don't
Raiden do really
exist.
well with it.
Yeah,
I would
Raiden
bump
pops up.
maybe he does, and I'd put that a little bit higher.
Wait, who does really well?
Raiden.
Raiden.
Yeah, you got to put Awaken Meiwa even lower, man. I don't know how it's even above D.
Mostly for the 1v1, because this is 1v1 in large scale. We're kind of doing
And
like a...
okay, let me consider that a little bit then too.
Yeah, it's taking all PvP into account. So
So-
like 1v1, small scale, large scale. It's all PvP.
Like Warriors large scale isn't exactly amazing, but its 1v1 is extremely high, so that's why it kind of like...
Listen,
evens it
we
out
already
there.
we made 2 tier lists in one video. It was like 4 hours long. We can't make a tier list for every type of PvP.
Yeah. See, I almost think that you have to just for large scale and then 1v1.
Yeah, I was thinking for next time, we'll probably do... Just to have the image when we say our grades, like for each, because we do usually go to each class, we say kind of where we think they are in each aspect of the game, so we could still just have the image. But then,
Wait, you have Succession Musa as a B?
where do you think it belongs, higher or lower?
Oh yeah, it belongs at least with Suck Meiwa. I think it's stronger than Suck Meiwa in large scale. Rikairu
Really?
in our guild is very good at it. Yeah, it is.
Why?
It's just as good as Suck Meiwa or better. Because it just the way it functions. It has larger skill AoE and better SA.
Well, as a resident Meiwa on the podcast, I couldn't let that happen.
Yeah,
so.
this was, you could blame Nayashe. You know, we weighted Nayashe's opinion on the Bladers more heavily than our own, so this is Nayashe's fault.
Well, the only thing is I haven't really seen many Succ mooses actually doing large scale, so it's really hard to really judge it. I know from personal experience what large scale Mewas can do with Succession and Awakening. I've seen what Awakening mooses can do. The Succession was kind of like iffy. Like I've seen for example, what Shaky's able to do in his skirmishing and GVGs, but it's a lot different when you consider a ball scenario.
How do you feel about Nova, Scarleta?
Nova's trash. Don't roll it. Don't waste your money.
What about the argument that Nova has a free I win button every 10 seconds because of its vacuum?
It's not that good of a vacuum.
That's what I keep saying, dude. People don't believe me.
It's like you can teleport out of it, you can chase out of it. It's not a good vacuum.
I can literally kill Novas that catch me in it that come up to try to follow up CC.
So here's an interesting one. You've got Awakening and Succession Hashashin on the same level.
Yeah, I tried to argue that. That was different.
I think Succession is just the by far better of all in everything.
I think Awakening is better slightly in 1v1 in certain matchups.
Sure.
And then the matchups where it's not a 360 block, that they're both pretty good. And then in large scale, for sure, I think Succession is better.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's weighted that way, is because the 1v1's pulling up Awakening, and the large scale's pulling up Succession.
You could probably redo this with Succ Ranger higher now. Like, if you look at some of the scores from yesterday in Siege from Succ Rangers, they're all up there.
Yeah,
that's true. There was
overall
the
problem pretty good.
Yeah,
Ranger should be higher. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What about Guardians? Some people still complain about that Guardians are too strong.
They are. I mean, I think so.
Are they S tier though?
They're not.
Well, no,
they don't have the heals.
Yeah, he said that WizWitch are S in like their own.
Yeah.
Their own tier.
But they're, I think, right where they should be. Where's Succession Guardian? Oh, A? Yeah. Yeah, Awakening is probably the better spec, just overall.
Yeah, people.
Not
I think our consensus on that is that Succession Guardian a bit better in 1v1 and also a bit more higher of a skill ceiling, but that the siege potential for Awakened Guardian is like so stupidly
the
powerful.
core skill alone just makes that shit absolutely fucking ridiculous for large scale.
Yeah, they have everything that they need to succeed in a ball as a melee. As Awakened
range, massive damage, AoE damage, 4 iframes.
The iframes, the escape. I've actually been looking at Succ Guardian, seeing if I could make that work in large scale, because I'm really bored of Succ.
You don't like face rolling your keyboard and just
I don't like being at range, guys. I never have. It's not my vibe.
Yeah.
I like being up close killing people.
I'm the same way. There's something really fun. Like, one of the things about this game with the combat system that's the most fun to me is the combos. Yeah. Comboing people is really fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in a node war, when you're able to combo someone and just get out before someone peels, like there's something satisfying about that, dude. Ugh.
That's the best.
Or on a Meiwa, I guess you just use blooming and 2 people die and you get out just fine.
Blooming is so good.
Yeah,
I can't wait for Succession core skills when they give it frontal guard. That's
frontal guard. If they gave us frontal guard on blooming, dude, we would actually be set. Give us a little bit more stamina for chase, we'd be set.
Well,
I think they should give you frontal guard on blooming and then double the cost of stamina on chases compensation.
Whoa.
I almost would take that. Almost would take that.
It is kind of an interesting offer, but that's a really steep price.
Okay.
What about
question?
What about they give you frontal guard on blooming, but they have to straight up remove grapple arrow Nayashe, your favorite ability?
They can't do that.
Take that shit.
Can't.
Take that shit.
No other Meiwa likes it, but I love it. I think it's amazing.
All right.
It's not useful in large scale at all.
Nayashe is convinced that grapple arrow is just misunderstood.
It is. There's so much you can do with it.
Well, it was, I think, at a time, like, I used it a lot. He'll remember that. But with all, like, the shields nowadays, it's just harder to use.
You just can't use it versus certain classes, but I use it a lot. You can use it for mobility, cheap mobility.
It's fun.
Cheaper.
Thematically, it's super fun.
Yeah. I mean, here's a clip that Vane sent me the other day. He was dorking around with it. He basically, quote unquote, created a Meiwa block jump with it.
See, this is what happens when you have two Meiwas. They just start talking about Meiwa things.
It's the
It's
worst.
really. I mean, dude, when you have one Meiwa, you should have seen, dude. We were trying to talk about Nova, and everything I said, it was just a response of like, well, Chase is bad too. Well, Chase is this. Well, Meiwa this. Well, Meiwa this.
Wait, I didn't say that.
Standard Meiwa, dude. Like, and then they have the memory of a goldfish too. That's the thing.
Oh my god. I mean, my memory is bad.
Oh,
when,
I see.
Useless conversation.
That's a cool use of grapple arrow. You have to be really fast.
Basically,
and they have to be standing still.
utilize the block lock from the cyclone.
That's neat.
Question: How do you guys feel? So someone in chat said that Guardian shouldn't be that high because its 1v1s are just as bad as Awakened Wiz Witch. Do you guys agree with that?
It's pretty bad, and it's pretty bad in 1v1 against a faster grab. Just end story. That's why.
But as bad as Awakened Wizard Witch? No, not even close.
I don't even
still had the grab.
I don't even agree that it's as bad as or that it's bad in 1v1. Honestly, I think it has a couple of rough matchups, but overall, if you like compare it to every class, the problem is that a lot of Guardians do the whole like forward F into God Incinerator, and that's all they know. So they make it look horrible.
Yeah.
But
they
a good
just don't know what they're
Guardian
doing,
is actually really difficult to win against, even on the classes that should be winning.
It's definitely hard as a Meiwa.
It's a hard matchup. If you're a Meiwa, a Musa, even like Succ, Hash, like any of the non-grab classes, and then even the grab, like, dude, I don't know. Like, fighting a good Guardian on a Nova is kind of rough as well.
Like, with that, like, Scarleta, the only way you can really deal with a Guardian effectively is if you have, like, equivalent gear and you can just out-trade by dipping in and out of their skills, right?
Yeah, when they do the God's Incinerator,
that's
I'll
your
wait for
biggest
that,
opportunity.
and I'll just hit their back and trade with them.
Yeah. You just gotta hope you have more gear.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he doesn't have to hope if he's 305 with 400 feet accuracy.
Well, no, Scarleta doesn't need to hope. He is there.
Yeah. If I get someone CC, they're dead.
Yeah.
As long as no one touches me.
So let's you want to talk about the node war changes, Nash? You want to transition us to the
sure.
kind of little bit that we know about the node war changes before we get into the global lab stuff?
Yeah, so Scarleta, with the node war changes, I mean, as you already know, because we've had discussions about it off the podcast, but basically, there's still a lot of info that we don't know about. We were supposed to see a demo this week, a participation node war on Global Labs. Unfortunately, for some reason, that did not happen. No announcement as to why. Maybe the devs forgot. Who knew?
Well, no schedule. Like, it's not even on the, like, they didn't give us a date, which is the thing that sucks. I guess they said
next week.
They said as early as next week, but they didn't. For whatever reason, they didn't give us a timeline. Like,
I thought they said as early as next week it could be live.
No. Someone quote. I mean, I have to go double check, but someone quoted and said that it says as early as next week is when the demo is going to be. I guess. I don't know. I misremembered it. I suppose. I have to go.
Reading in Meiwa,
through Meiwa colored glasses, I was reading it.
Meiwa colored glasses, you're reading through. Shit. But yeah, so basically, right now we still don't know a lot of info, but we do have some ideas of what it could potentially be. And I know you had some concerns about how some of the aspects of it might play out if they are in fact true. Specifically, like them uncapping it to 100 man for basically everything again.
Right. Let me try to do a TLDR of what it is, and then Scarletta, if you interpreted it differently, let me know. So caps are going to be removed. I'm only going to refer to tier 2 and above because it doesn't Tier 1s are different, and well, we'll address it. We could address it after if we want, but just for now, this TLDR is T2, 3, and 4. So, node wars on specific regions are going to be 3 times a week. They're going to be uncapped, so 100-man on every single node war. And the different regions have starting nodes. So, for example, Balanos can start on Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Or Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, sorry. And they'll have like starting nodes. You place on a starting node. Once you own a starting node in a region, you have to participate in the node wars in that region. You can't place elsewhere. So if I win on Sunday, I can expand on Tuesday and then Thursday. And then the expansion is there's connecting nodes to the starter nodes, so you can kind of grow your territory. And as you expand, all of your previous forts are still vulnerable to attack. People can build on those starter nodes and attack those starter nodes. And then once they own a starter node in a different area, they all kind of link to each other eventually, and you'll have to defend wherever you have enemies. So all of your forts are technically vulnerable during a war.
So there wasn't, I did, when we were talking last night about this, something about a main fort came up.
Yes. So you can dedicate a main fort. So let's just say, for example, you own 3 nodes already connected in a region.
Mm-hmm.
During the non-node war time, you can designate one of those as your primary fort. And if that primary fort goes down, that's the fort that you teleport to when node war starts, is your primary fort. And if that primary fort goes down, you lose the primary fort, and all your connected nodes are also liberated. So the person who wins your fort now owns that, and then the connected nodes are now neutral again.
It's a cool mechanic.
It's
an
like
interesting
it's just
mechanic,
like
right?
risk, basically. If you spread yourself too thin, you can't defend it very well, then eventually you just lose territory or you just lose the game.
And then the siege aspect of this is you still need a T2, 3, or 4 in order to participate in siege. But what they weren't clear on is if just winning it qualifies you, or if by the time siege begins, you still have to occupy. But it sounds like you do. I'm pretty sure the wording sounded like you do have to still occupy it, if I remember correctly. Which would mean, let's say if I win a T2, 3 or 4 on Sunday, and then on Wednesday, and then on Friday, someone attacks my primary node and I lose everything, I can't participate on siege on Saturday. Is that how you understood it as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so all of that having been said, what are your thoughts on this new node war system, like overall?
Initially, I did not like it, and I think it still needs a lot of work. But it is interesting how they connect with each other, the nodes. So that adds another level of strategy. And like what we were talking about before the podcast started, I think it's going to be really neat to see if you have 3 nodes on that region, you have to ping pong back and forth between defending each node. That's pretty cool, I think.
It's pretty cool. I agree.
It can probably be annoying to some, and probably at first, but there's an interesting mental game of you have to maintain all these nodes to be able to qualify. You're extending yourself by taking these nodes, so you're taking somewhat of a risk, but it's cool. I like that.
So what are some of the things you felt kind of negatively about?
The 100-man cap across all nodes.
So what about that specific? Like, why do you not like that or dislike that?
Well,
that's probably the main one I've heard people worried about.
Yeah, so if you do take the risk and spread yourself out, you have to basically defend all those nodes with the limited members you have, so you can send like 25 to this, 25 to that. But if you get zerged on one, you're definitely going to lose that, we'll call it node C, to go to defend node A, or else you lose everything. So it does spread guilds thin, and with the dwindling number of players we all have in our guilds, that's a concern.
Yeah, I think one of the things, I guess, like, the way I've been trying to look at it, because I try to generally on this show, I try to take the more positive approach.
He's the White Knighter.
AKA he gets paid by Prilobus
That
to
too.
defend them.
Yeah.
That's
Well, at least in my mind, the way I see it, while it is a little bit concerning for sure, because the main concern is everyone's like, well, Cho just beats everybody, right? But the thing is like, if you own a territory, let's say Cho Nation, very, very strong guild, they win on Sunday. Now we know where they are and where they can expand to on Wednesday. So you have the option to just completely avoid fighting them until they own enough nodes that they're spread thin, and now you can engage them on multiple fronts. You could have an ally guild that has a starter node on a different side, like attack them while you attack their other node. Like, it makes it so these strong guilds that can bring a lot of people can eventually be toppled over, as well as it makes it so some of the weaker guilds that can't bring that many can just avoid those fights altogether. At least in my mind, that's how I see it. So it almost seems like it won't end up being that bad.
So it isn't even the number of players that's the real problem, it's the number of guilds. We just don't have enough guilds to occupy all these different nodes for fights.
Mm-hmm.
We probably have enough guilds to occupy all the nodes, but not to really make good fights of it. So one of our members was thinking this was going to lead to just a lot of 1v1s on nodes, because everyone's going to be so spread out.
Right.
And there's going to be a real, threat of not getting a fight at all. Because that already happens, you know?
For sure. So to address that too, and again, this was the first time they talked about the node war stuff. They said that every server is going to have nodes added and or removed according to participation.
Okay. Well,
so that every like region's not going to have the same number of nodes. It's going to be based on participation. And I do think at least at first, I think a lot more guilds are going to node war. People are going to be way more interested. Well, I mean, let me know what you think about this. But I was thinking it's probably there's going to be a huge influx of people who just want to try the new stuff, right? I know a bunch of people that have just recently joined node war guilds, at least like T2 node war style guilds, because they're like, dude, these node war changes seem really exciting, and this might actually be fun. And then on top of that, the rewards are actually worth going to node war for, based on like the merchant and all that stuff. So people are gonna, like, if you want the crystals or Caphras bundles, or it sounds like the payouts are gonna be better if you're getting paid for the same node multiple times for owning it. Like, the payouts are gonna be better, so it might actually be worth going to. So participation should be up, but you're right, that concern is legitimate. And like, if enough people aren't going, then they have to reduce the nodes, or it's gonna just be no fights at all.
They're even adding a whole nother region. Although the total number of nodes has actually gone down by 1 with the region added. Oh.
Because they removed
Oh, really?
Yeah, it went from 109 to 108.
Okay. So they're already thinking about that then. That's good.
Yeah. Although Kama looks super. People are also going to want to node war on Kama. That sounds so fun to me.
That's
it does.
Fun stuff.
I've got a question. Does the rewards sound like they're enough?
It depends on what the payout is, the tax payout. Because like, if it's even a little bit more raw silver than we currently get, plus that vendor, I kind of think so. Because that vendor, I mean, you remember the rewards from it? Like, you can get like fail stacks, Caphras stones, crystals. There's kind of a bunch of really cool stuff that you can get from there. So at least to me, I think the rewards are pretty damn good. But maybe that's because our rewards have been so bad for so long.
Exactly.
That it looks good.
It's been really bad.
I mean,
a lot of people think we should have more. Like, it should be more raw silver.
It's a good
payouts.
start, to be fair.
I don't get why they don't heavily reward PvP. Well, actually, I do, because they've literally said it, that PvP is its own reward. Now, if they're still thinking that way, that's dumb, but it doesn't look like they are strictly, which is good. So I would like to see a little bit more incentive.
So
they probably don't. Real quick.
Yeah, go
They
ahead.
probably don't want to do that heavily incentivizes as much because that then decentivizes the other like life skilling. It just makes PvP the go-to for making money, and they don't want to do that. So I see it, but
Right.
it needs more. It needs to be more, in
So-
my opinion.
Let's say the way I understood it, but I could completely be wrong because this one they weren't like as clear as I'd like. But let's say if you win a node on Sunday, you get the tax payout for winning that node right when you win the node or whatever. All right, I think they said no. They said it goes you get paid every day at the start. So whatever nodes you own, you like win the money for that. So the first day you win a Sunday or whatever, you win node A. Tuesday rolls around, you get paid for node A. You win node B as well, so now you own A and B. Thursday comes around, you get paid for node A and B. You place on C, win that, and then on Sunday when it's all nodes again, you can continue placing because it doesn't reset. You still just continue owning your nodes, and you can own up to 10. Like if you own 4 or 5, obviously that's gonna be hard to do, but you're kind of getting every 2 days like 4 or 5 bill or more from the nodes, which is more than like Serendia and all that stuff, plus the vendor. Like it does kind of seem like the rewards might be pretty good if you're actually winning.
I'm hoping that no guild can do that because that means the game's dead.
Yeah, that's true. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. But there's going to be like alliances and stuff, so who knows? It might. Well, that's
Scarleta.
Go ahead.
That's actually where I'd like to talk next. Is
Well, hold on,
alliances.
Scarleta. I got a question
Yeah.
for you.
Sure.
Okay, so background information on me. I am the Alex Jones of the podcast. And I've been saying this for a while now, and I was curious to get your opinion on it, even though I think I know what you're going to say. I've
Mhm.
said for a while now that I think they should reduce the cap of guilds to 50.
Oh my
Because
god.
I don't think
Another like-minded
100-man
soul.
guilds...
Yes.
Oh, you
Thank
agree?
you. Yes, you are the only other person I've heard say that, and it should have been this way from the beginning. This game is not able to support 100-man guilds in PvP. Just think of all the fucking lag we get. All the stupid rubber banding. That just comes from having too big of guilds. Guilds should be 50-man.
I've also said this kind of forever. Dude, it's not even just the lag. There are so many things it would alleviate. It would
Yeah.
potentially double the amount of guilds that are able to participate. It
Which
would
means more fun content with PvP.
more fun content with PvP, more GVGs, more skirmishes, just more. It would just feel like there's more people, even though there's literally not. And then
Yeah.
it would also alleviate a ton of the pressures of leadership. Trying to keep 100 people in a guild and organize 100 people is actually so insanely stressful.
And motivated.
Yeah.
motivated.
And motivated,
50
yeah.
people is definitely doable.
Yes, and you just know those people better. It would be better. It should
And-
happen, but it won't.
Long term, it would also I think it would shake up the siege scene a lot because there's a lot of strong people that would just be divided and have to go other places.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I mean, think of all the people that are going to be outed. Oh, man. The drama.
Yeah, I think initially it would be like ripping off a Band-Aid, but I think at the end of the day, it would end up being more helpful, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be awesome. So as far as the alliance thing, so I'll present the question to you this way, and then you take it wherever you want to take it. Do you think that this is going to promote more alliances or more people just joining one singular guild, or how do you think it kind of affects that part of the game?
So this is probably the point of contention that I've had with pretty much everyone I've talked to about it. Is it's 50-50. We don't know, and everyone that I've talked to is either yes, it will create more alliances, or no, it will create just more what is it? Non-hostility agreements, which is kind of an alliance,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's like the second option. I think the third option is there's just not going to be enough guilds for everyone to take up these nodes with. to actually make fights with. Everyone will just find their nodes and sit on them. That's, I think, the third way it plays out. So I could see initially where things have been, yes, alliances will be a thing. Then as it progresses, I don't think it'll be as important. And, things can change. But
when you say sitting, do you mean not expanding? Or
just everyone taking nodes to take nodes and get the money and no fights are happening?
Right.
That's my biggest fear and kind of where I see it going. If the trend that has been happening with guilds dying and just not enough guilds to go around, if that keeps happening, we're just going to spread out and stagnate.
For sure. I mean, if just overall population goes down, that's for sure how it'll be. I'm wondering though if it seems possible. As again, this is more a glass half full perspective, but it does also seem possible that maybe more alliances form, thus making it so way more guilds are participating. Because the thing is with the nodes is winning just one node and sitting on it doesn't really benefit you as much because you don't get the vendor, right? You have to win a new node in order to get the NPC to buy the cool shit that people want. So I feel like if you want to be a part of a guild that does that, you're going to have to either join a guild that's node warring, and eventually guilds are going to fill up, and then they'll have to trickle down to the guilds that are less full, that are participating in node wars, or guilds are going to have to come together and form an alliance. Because I think it's less beneficial, at least in theory. Again, all of this is I have to preface with I don't actually know, right? I'm just speculating on the little information.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, no one actually knows. But it's less beneficial to just place with somebody versus being in an actual alliance. So someone's asking why wouldn't guilds make alliance and just node trade? I mean, because when you node trade, you don't get the NPC. You don't win the reward for node trading. That's the thing. Your money goes up. If you're in an alliance, if you're two smaller guilds and you form an alliance, your guilds get the NPC, you get the payout for each node you get. So the stronger you are and the more you can just keep expanding, the more times you get visits to the NPC, the more money you make. So if you're just trading with one other person, you both are losing out half the benefit every time. And the benefits, when it's actually good, no one really cares if they lose 1 billion guild silver because it's nothing. But your guild wants to get those Caphras stones. So I don't know. At least that's how I see it. From my perspective, if my guild's just losing all the time and we don't bring enough people, I'm gonna be dude, why can we find an alliance or something, please? Because I want to start winning these nodes, or I'm gonna have to just go to a different guild.
What I'd like to see is them formalize alliances. They started doing that with literally the guild alliance system. Why don't they have that more so for everyone? Some kind of
not just for node wars.
Binding guilds together.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that would somewhat strengthen the fabric of the BDO community. It would legitimize it so that we wouldn't have these siege videos for dummies explaining alliances and getting it wrong.
How would this impact that desire to have, hypothetically 50-man max guilds?
Oh, I'd love that.
Would you still consider alliances to be something that would be allowed?
I think it would be better that way. Yeah. We'd see a lot of alliances, actually. We'd see just for a gambit from the T2s to all the way to the siege alliances. So and you'd be able to visualize the community better, in my opinion.
They mentioned initially, they didn't talk about it this time around in the notes that we got a couple weeks ago, but they initially mentioned that castle or sieges or territories for siege, guilds are going to be able to own more than one, and that there's going to be a mercenary cap.
Good.
So, two-part question. One, how do you feel about multiple territories potentially being a thing? And two, How do you feel about the merc system in general, and should there be a cap?
Yes, there should be a cap. It's ridiculous that we have a whole guild merging into another guild. That's just does not sit right with me. Yeah, that's just how my opinion on it.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are okay with the way it is now, which is fine. It's an opinion. But I think it's healthier to have people in guilds rather than just people marking in a ton of people into other guilds. You know how much headache, guys? Everyone in chat and all these chats, how much headache it is trying to get like 100 people spread out in other guilds. It's so annoying. And if we just had people in guilds, it would just be healthier because it would have more people fighting, more guilds fighting, less headache for leadership.
Yeah.
True. I can see that though, for sure. Like, it's a little weird when you bring someone that's obviously not a part of the group, has vastly more gear and whatnot, just coming to, basically do some Dynasty Warriors on some kids,
I know it's kind of dramatic, but I actually really do wish that the cap ends up being the exact same as T4 for Siege. Because, like, I think the merking system is cool. Especially, I love how it kind of has been utilized as a tool for trialing people for guilds and stuff. That part's really awesome.
Yeah.
And I do think it's really fun to go experience node wars with other people when your node or your guild can't, right? But yeah, the whole, like, it shouldn't change the outcome of a war. It should be like someone's just coming to have fun and want to try out wars with us, kind of thing.
The intention of the system is great. It's just, it's abused.
Yeah. How do you feel about the alliance system in general? Because Resler and I got into it a little bit last week because he doesn't feel like the alliance system is any good, but my experience with it has been relatively positive, but mostly because the last two guilds I've been in have been alliances, and they both, I feel like, function fairly well. One of them was a little bit more of a casual guild that was an alliance, and then the one I'm in now, Apocalypse, is like a pretty well functioning alliance. But what are your thoughts on the alliance system in general?
Well, I mean, I've never really touched that system, so I really don't know. I've had the more opposite end of the spectrum with alliances. I mean, it's the unofficial alliance,
Right.
Right now, it's us and Show, and it was Bassie in there with us. So, yeah, I'm probably not the one to ask about that system.
Resler and I also have been saying forever that to qualify for Siege, you should have to win a T3 or a T4 and be locked out at T2s. Your thoughts on that?
I don't entirely disagree with it because I understand the intention of making a place for people to fight, other guilds to fight, and not getting run over by us, Joe, BR. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Force us, and fuck yes, it would get us off fucking T2s. And it would make
that's basically
our
the
builders
idea.
so happy. Make our builders so happy because and it make a lot of us happy because T2s, those forts go down so fast. T3s are so much better for fights.
Yeah.
That's basically the idea, is to, like, and I've been saying this for the longest fucking time. And it's just, it seems so obvious, but for some reason they won't do it. Like, just make T2s its own thing. Like, T1 is its own thing. You can't go to T1 if you've won a node above it. It's gear capped. T2s don't need to be gear capped. Just use your, normal gear, but, like, make it its own separate thing so that siege guilds don't come interrupt those fights. It seems really obvious to me.
I don't know. I think Bloodthirst wants to 1v1 Show Nation.
Yeah, dude. There's nothing better than having to fight in the same node war you have to fight Bassie, and then Bassie leaves, and you're like, oh, maybe we're not gonna get absolutely railed on. And then fucking Spartan shows up with Choice and Ogre and like all these other fucking like 700 plus gear score mercs, and it's like,
What,
ah,
that wasn't
yes,
fun?
T2s, how fun and engaging.
That wasn't fun for you?
Yeah, that's not what I would describe as fun personally.
I'm sure Choice had a good time.
Oh, he had a great time. Yeah, he kept raging about the flame towers. It was pretty funny. I say raging. I mean raging in Choice's way of raging, where he just gets like slightly annoyed at things.
Like, oh, that's inconvenient.
Yeah, basically.
Here's one that's crazy. When do you expect this to come, Scarleta? When do you think we're going to be able to actually participate in these new node wars?
I have no guess. That's Pearl Abyss. They can't even like stick to a roadmap. I'm not gonna guess on that.
That's fair. They do tend to create some roadmaps that don't always end up following through on.
I wonder if it's gonna be when the takeover happens.
Maybe.
Possibly. Maybe after the takeover. Like,
Because isn't that coming up here like really soon? Don't we have to fill some form out or some shit?
There's supposedly going to be a website to do the transfer of data, and that's supposedly happening this upcoming week.
Yeah, by the end of this week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't think we're going to be able to. I don't think we're going to actually participate in it on our server until summer. Is my guess.
Yeah.
Summer?
At the earliest.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's like fucking 4 months away, 5 months away.
Think about this. Like, every time they do a change like that's like actually major and not balance related, like even when KR gets it, we don't get it usually for a couple months. And they haven't really proven that that's not the case yet. So
true.
And KR,
I mean, except for Nova being at the same time.
Mina is saying transfer on February 24th, transfer website supposedly on January 27th.
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll have all our data for what they're
so
doing all at once.
a month from today is when takeover happens, according to her. And then transfer in 3 days. So on Wednesday. So transfer website.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else with Node Wars? Like, that's the thing, is like, because we don't have any new information, it's kind of hard to. Wait, your thoughts, Scarlett, on the idea of owning multiple territories as a siege guild, like multiple castles.
Taking it back to the good old days.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
I owned the world. Not I. We in Veritas, we had all the castle territories. That was a good time. I don't expect it to happen like that again. I think it'd be difficult to get even a second territory, but we'll see. That's probably where, alliances will come into it, and yeah, we'll see.
See, I just love the idea that a guild can try, because it just it creates a fight, or a potential fight.
Where there wouldn't have been one, like in this current system, sure.
Yeah. I like the idea of guild spreading out. Especially like I don't know, like if you get paid for both, which I assume you will, otherwise what's the point? I don't know, having Calpheon and Valencia buff at the same time while getting, I don't know, what do you get paid for Castle now? 28 bill or whatever? Something like that. So now you're
little under that.
Under that. So let's just say it's 25 bill. So you get 2 territories, 50 bill, plus 2 buffs in 2 different regions. Kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
Get you a nice little fatty payout.
Yeah.
More than half a bill.
Scarletta, what are your thoughts on server wars?
Oh, like us versus KR?
No, the where they're like you're gonna assign a home server or whatever. Like they said, you're gonna assign the home channel, and then in your channel cluster, you're gonna like have wars or some shit with like other channel clusters or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff with that.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not. I think clear yet, but I'm all for all for creating more PvP in the open world.
Yeah, because didn't they say something like you were going to be able to like... fuck, I don't remember. There's going to be like some buff that like other people could come take or something like that. I don't really remember too well.
I remember something about that. I've always wanted nodes to function like capture the flag points, where if you held that, you got a buff for that server.
That would be pretty cool, like an active, constant world of PvP.
Yeah, like if you own a node on the Balanos region in the new system, then
not even that. No, you just go there and it's a capture the flag point, and you take it.
Oh,
you
just
get a buff
at any time. You mean?
Yes.
Well, maybe
like right now,
you hold it for an hour.
Open world. I go to Star's End on Medea 1, and there's a flag, and I stand at it, and I capture that point, and my guild can come there, and everyone in my guild gets a buff for that channel.
Basically, like an Arsha drop chance kind of thing, or
yeah.
Okay.
That
would be fun. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and like maybe have it so that you would actually just hold the buff for like an hour or something like that. No more than that though. But yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Let's say 3 hours.
Yeah, dude, a few hours, and then the guild can come and take it from you. Like maybe it's the first hour it can't be taken back if you win it, and then after that first hour or 2 hours, or whatever,
sure.
It's attackable.
I'm down with that.
That would be fun as hell, dude. That does sound.
Yeah,
really
that'd be
fun.
pretty cool.
3 hour max.
Pretty interesting open world GVG type fights.
And then to keep moving people around, it's a 3 hour max. So then you have to go to a new channel after that 3 hours and do it all over.
Pretty good idea, actually. I don't know why no one else really mentioned something like that.
Yeah,
it'd be fun. Be a natural PvP.
Yeah, it had some actually like a tangible reward attached to it.
Even just a 10% buff.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some of the Hadum server stuff. So you said you don't really know too much about it, right?
No,
so we're gonna blow your mind right now, dude. We're gonna blow your mind.
Oh yeah.
So Global Labs this week was pretty big, actually. Kind of a lot of stuff. I'll link it.
Kind of, sorta.
There, if anyone wants to look. Okay, so Elvia's Realm, aka Hadum server, they gave it an official name now. I don't follow the lore very well, so I'm sure Elvia is a very important figure. Hadum, the god of despair who killed half the population of the Western world, made the descendants of the goddess Sylvia separated forever, arrived in this world again in pursuit of the light of Kama Sylv. Basically, this server, it's one exclusive server, I believe, that's going to happen in every region, called Elvia's Realm, where the mobs in these 7 different grind zones, and I don't know if they're going to add more later or if they're done, are going to be different. They're going to be completely redesigned grind spots. So going down the list, Baragi Den is one of them. The recommended AP is 260. Recommended DP is 310. It's a solo grind spot. It has like a boss that spawns that can give you a treasure chest if you kill him. Alter Imps is a 2-player spot, 260 AP, 310 DP. This one spawns these like Alter Imp flags, and if you defeat it, the souls, all nearby souls, turn into like buffed mobs that give you more loot. And when you fight them, you have a chance to spawn Dastard Beg. Fogan Swamp is it has like random boss spawns like while you're fighting. This one's a solo spot as well, 270 AP, 320 DP. Same with the Naga Swamp, 270 AP, 320 DP. They all have like their own little special mechanics. Castle Ruins is a 3-person grind spot. Recommended 270 AP, 320 DP. This one, you have a chance to get a drop that when you right click it spawns a bunch of elite mobs, and if you kill them quickly enough, you fight Al-Rundi for some boss drops. And then Orc Camp is a solo spot. Recommended 280 AP, 340 DP. And Bloody Monastery is also a solo spot that's recommended 280, 340. So just like high-end spots that drop trash loot, Kaffir stones, armor weapon stones, the new Black Star enhancement materials. They can drop these new Elvia weapons, which I'll explain in a second, and they can also drop materials for the new accessories, which we will also get to in a second. So any thoughts on the Hadum stuff? It's coming to KR on Wednesday, so this week, officially.
I just hope it's worth it. That's the question everyone
True.
asks with all these new additions. Is it worth it? Can it equal Star's End and Sakraya?
Yep.
And I guess now, somewhat, people are grinding Ash Forest and
And
Golems.
Yeah. I'm wondering, too, if even if technically some of the spots are less money, if it's going to have that Ash Force effect where you're there just to make the accessories.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that could be it.
That's just the question. Is
Just-
it worth?
I'm gonna be there for my Black
Wait,
Star
did you-
Kaffir.
Scarleta, did I ever send you a image or an animation image of what the Maewa's ability looks like?
Yeah. It's neat.
It's pretty nifty.
Dude, so what do you guys make, or how do you guys feel about it being only one server? Let's just pretend
I think that's
hypothetically
weird.
that the spots are pretty decent for money. Like maybe comparable to Star's End, maybe not, maybe even slightly under, but they have mats that you just can't get anywhere else, right? So what are
Then
you,
it's worth.
What are your guys'
I think
thoughts on
it's a
their-
mistake.
being only one of these servers that everyone has
That's
to
fine.
go to?
Is PvP enabled?
I don't think so. They haven't mentioned that it's like
Fuck it.
Arsha.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, they've not
I-
mentioned that
I-
it's a PvP server.
Whenever they limit PvP, I'm just like, why? This is a PvP game. Why do you still not understand this? It's, I guess, maybe just not
I'm
their
all for
mentality
PvP.
over there.
I just don't think one server's enough. I mean, we're accommodating probably hundreds of individuals that'd be interested in doing it a day at any point in time.
So now does it
I
require...
mean, the one server thing is probably why they're not allowing PvP on it. They're probably thinking like we can't have it be just one server and have PvP on, so that like people can just go on there and just murder everyone around them, securing the entire server for themselves or some shit, you know?
Grief everybody, and
I-
then they
I
might
see
actually have to
that.
look at the karma system. Ugh.
I
my
see
God,
that,
we're-
but yeah, problem is a symptom of a poor karma system, and
Yeah.
just they need to rethink that. But they're protecting the people that just don't want a PvP at all. That's what they're doing.
Yep, they care bears.
It's gonna be
Um,
mostly
yeah,
karma bombing, griefing, and GVGs. Probably.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want some of the materials here, I think it's going to be difficult. Some of the spots are really dense with mobs, and there's multiple rotations, so it can support multiple people, but still, I mean, so, like, you know, I don't know, Star's End has 4 pretty viable rotations, maybe 5, you could argue, and it's still pretty much full on 50 servers, so I don't know how one server is going to do. It just seems like it's going to be so hard.
That's fine.
Oh, it's
That's
going to be
fine.
kind of crazy. I don't know. That
That-
everyone just says it's basically going to be Cho's server, and they get to dictate the market and all the stuff that comes out of there.
I mean, if there's no PvP, then I mean, you could just grief them, right? And just run their rotation backwards.
Oh, a Chotech server sounds great to me.
It's so
Being
weird.
a part of the
Like,
group.
They
Just
should
part of the
honestly
game,
just
guys.
make it. They should honestly just make it its own server cluster of like 6 servers,
That I agree with. Yeah, then it'd be fine.
That's fair.
and then enable PvP. Like, it's just so weird. It's a really weird decision.
But they need to make it like they take away half the Elvia servers, and then like a couple random. Like, I don't want to lose all of like Balanos or something. You know, it's already hard enough to find grind spots.
Get rid of Elvia.
Get rid of fucking
No.
Balanos servers, man. Come on.
Olvia servers, some of them at least half.
Yeah, they don't need that many Elvia servers. We have 5 Elvia servers and 4 seasonal servers, and then the seasonal PvP. I mean, I think 1 or 2 Elvias, like they could easily just repurpose 3 of these Elvias to be the new Hadum servers, and then maybe add like 1 or 2 from some other cluster. I don't know.
Hey, since we're talking about servers, do you guys think they'll ever add more Arsha servers?
No.
Or is it just gonna forever be the one?
It'll probably forever be the one.
Yeah.
They don't like open world PvP. They only did it for us because we bitched about it. They're like, fine, we'll give you a fucking no punishment PvP. Here you go, 1 channel.
And then immediately they start giving drop rate buffs to all the regular servers so that grinding on Arsha is basically irrelevant.
Just don't understand their NA audience.
Someone does point out correctly, all of the normal grind spots are also available on these servers outside of the updated spots, which is
Yeah.
so. Hopefully, it's more than 1 actual channel and it's a server cluster. That would actually be really nice, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
So the Elvia weapons. The TLDR on the Elvia weapons, basically a rare drop, main hand or awakening. Every class has an ability associated with the rare drops. These Elvia weapons, there's 3 different types. You can hotbar the skill that's associated with it. When the weapon drops and you pick it up, a timer begins on it immediately. That's 10 minutes long. So you can use the ability for 10 minutes. The abilities are basically just 15-second cooldown super nukes for PvE. They're extremely reduced damage in PvP, and according to this, they're not supposed to work outside of Elvia's realm either. Or they're not supposed to do nearly as much damage. So I don't know. The way I'm analogizing it to like a DP or an AP Blackstone that's just for PvE. It's kind of what it looks like. Your guys' thoughts on these weapons and skills?
I guess just another.
Just a little nifty feature that they're adding with it to make people like excited about it.
Well, that
Not really.
kind of answers what I was about to ask. Is like, why? Why any of this? Why do any of this? Is this just a nifty new place to farm for these unique drops? That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of these skills are. I feel like temporary abilities are not that exciting to me.
No.
It's just
Like,
their attempt at doing it without it affecting PvP.
Sure.
It's really just hype. It literally is just hype. Like, oh, that looks cool. I want to use that. Like.
Oh yay! My so and so ability is another different color with different particle effects. Woo!
Hey man.
Hey, man.
Particles.
Don't shit on different colored effects, okay? I think that would be a really good addition to the cash shop.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Where's that?
True. Don't you want to see your pink ice pop out of your awakened Maywa?
No. I made Maywa for Red Moon, and it was the right color the first time.
True.
Yeah, and to clarify, these Elvia skills are not related in any way to the new awakening skill they said they were going to add to every class. They clarified that.
What if that
weeks
was
ago.
the translation? We got it wrong.
Then it'd be awful. All right, improved Black Star crafting recipes. So this Black Star energy or Black Specter's energy that you need to enhance some shit has a bunch of new mats that you can get on the Hadum server that drop in different places and require different recipes to make. Here's some of the items: Voltara's Passion, Akiara's Reason, Narc's Spirit, Madness Flower, Flame of Voltara, Akiara's Wave, Narc's Lightning, Void Seed, Void Oil, A Piece of Everything, and Ancient Heritage. If you use the mirror item to break through the blacksmith's extraction function for the Black Star armor, you can extract the Black Specter's energy from the Black Star armor. So it looks like you can take it out once you put it in. I need to see, like, I don't know. I'm curious if any of these items are sellable or not. If not, it seems like this whole thing's going to be like a self-found thing, which also makes having only one server more difficult.
Yeah.
So it's an entire server, an entirely new skill, and weapons, and all this,
And
just
new
to farm,
materials.
just to farm new materials.
Well, new materials is one part, but also the new accessories that they announced. So did you hear about the new necklaces?
Yeah, I scrolled and saw those with what you linked. I mean,
Those
it's cool.
accessories are an abomination.
They've got accuracy on it, so I can drop the BSR I've got on my neck finally, but that's like the only thing that has me looking at this thing.
Yeah, the DP one
That's
is
a lot of effort.
the DP
It's a
one's
lot
like
of
a
effort.
meme stone. Does have a lot of stats, but it's was it 30 47? No, my mouse shit. 51 evasion, 11 DR.
Well, I'm just
150
asking
health.
myself if like, well, why don't I just go farm Scarleta for however many hours to get a pen ogre, which is probably better than briefly looking at these new accessories. A pen ogre would just be better for me.
You think so? So the Awakening Moon Necklace, the accuracy one at Pen, is 4 AP less than a Pen Ogre and 28 accuracy more.
Okay, that is pretty good.
Is that
Kind of a
trade-off
lot.
better? Is that trade-off better than the Tauros trade-off?
So
Well,
the
Like
Tauros,
that AP for accuracy trade-off?
If you
talking
can-
about pens here.
yeah, let me think. So a Pen Tauros is 17 AP, right?
I think.
I didn't even think to look at the Pen version. 17 and 34. And then what? A Bassi, or sorry, not a Bassi, a Tongue Guard Belt's more appropriate comparison. So you'd lose, yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's 3 for, yeah, it's, I don't know.
34 and 17.
Let's see.
It's a lot more accuracy.
21 and 12. So
Is it like you lose?
22 extra
22,
accuracy.
yeah, so it's kind of like,
But you're
mo-
4 AP shy.
it's one more, yeah. Well, no, it's one more, no, it's 28 accuracy. Or what are you talking about? I think you
The
just
Tongue
said
Red
both.
Bell versus Toro?
Oh yeah, it's 4
Was that-
AP shy. You're right. Yes, so it's better. It's definitely a better ratio. Yes, 100%. It's 4 accuracy better to do the necklace.
Oh, that's so much effort for just that, though. And that's all that we would really want there, right?
Well,
Pretty
that's it.
much.
the other one's more
That-
of like a min-maxer type of thing if you're like all uber geared, because it's exact same stats as Ogre Ring and Turo, or sorry, Ogre and Leighton, but it also has 150 HP at Pen. It
I
goes
think
up.
I'm still going
30.
for the ogre. I think I'm just still gonna go for the pen ogre. Just grind Scarleta. Sounds
Just for
like
ease of, like,
way less
Ogre
effort.
would be the red nose version from that one kind of thing.
And I mean, I've already got the 2 accuracy accessories, so really, I would just kind of want to turn those into pen versions with the pen ogre. Get
Yeah.
309 back, and have like fucking 420 something sheet accuracy. Yeah. So I'm kind of already over this server. and that's like not a good thing for upcoming content to be seemingly useless to the majority of people, which
Which tends to happen, unfortunately, with new content.
usually is what happens with all these new everything. Like, hey, you guys want to go do some Altar of Blood? You want to go do some Savage Rift, guys? Hey, how about some team battles? That sounds like fun.
You want to go farm at Paddocks?
Team battle for the node.
So this is already, sadly, in my opinion, a dead on arrival content.
So, Nexosa in chat brings up that he's hoping that the new necks drop the price of Pen Ogre slightly, which is possible.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
get
but
even less time at Sacria.
I mean, I think that the money in some of these spots will be good. The trash loot is high. The areas are insanely dense. They still drop Kaffir stones, or dust and armor and weapon stones. So like it's not like these accessories are not going to sell for a lot. It just sucks that the place is going to be wildly contested and probably impossible to get a full hour grind in.
Yeah.
True.
The thing that sucks too is like this whole Black Spectre's energy thing is supposed to be a catch-up mechanic for players that are behind, but they're going to have to compete with players that are way ahead on a single server to get them. So it's like, what?
Good luck.
Oh my god. Rez, how are you going to get these for your gear?
I'm hoping they change it to where you can only enter the server if you have 7-piece Black Star.
Dude, maybe
That would be an interesting take.
Maybe the lower end spots, the 260 AP spots, are going to be bad enough that higher end players aren't there, so it gives the lower end players like room to just get that. Because like the energy, I don't think is any benefit to a higher end player, right? So if you're there for an actual upgrade, it makes sense. But like for me, if I'm not upgrading any Black Star armor, I don't have any reason to be at the lower end spot if it's not as efficient as the higher end ones, you know, or Star's End or whatever. But like if it's less efficient than Star's End and it benefits me because it gives me materials directly to upgrade my gear, then they'll actually be there. So maybe it won't be as contested in the lower spots. I don't know. Hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, it does kind of worry me for the players that are catching up, having to compete with the players that are already ahead for these spots.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot in the game right now that helps you really catch up, you know?
Well, I know. I'm
really
just
an
saying
issue?
that's what they said. I mean, this was the reason they put it in. It doesn't matter if it's an issue to me or not. That's their reasoning for adding Black Spectre's energy was to help players catch up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gotcha.
players like Reslar and Leafson that have Black Star armors.
Poor guys.
And weapons.
And a lot of people have the weapons, but they don't upgrade the weapons. It's defensive gear only.
Yeah, we don't want to make it too popular.
Yeah, we don't make it too good, dude. Although, if it did upgrade the weapons, then things would change, because then I'd actually consider getting a Tet Black Star Awakening weapon and upgrading it a couple levels. If I could get 4 AP on a Tet Awakening Black Star, I'd actually probably swap off of Pen Dandy. But
Well, it's basically a C1.
yeah, that's the thing that sucks. My Dandy's already C5. It'd be a downgrade, and I need it to go even higher. It's already too low. Oh, I don't know. Did any of you guys make a Black Star? Tet Black Star? You did, Rez, all right?
Yeah, the Awakening weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got I've gotten a couple attempts on gloves too, but I haven't gotten them yet.
What about you, Scarletta? Did you go for the Awakening Black Star? Are you going for Pen?
I'm gonna make it a Tet.
They'll probably
Just
one
for
tap it.
PvE. Hopefully I one tap the pen with the Jay's weapon upgrader thing or whatever it's called.
Scarletta's
Hammer.
like he's one of those
Yeah,
he's
the
one of those
hammer.
players that he sends you the screenshot of his gain that he tapped on his first attempt.
I've had some struggles, but yeah, I've been carried in other ways.
What's your most
That's
carried?
it.
My most carried?
Yeah. What were you most carried on?
What's this thing?
Did you one tap the Toro belt?
Well, that was like actually the first accessory I've tapped in like over a year.
Oh yeah, so your RNG's been waiting, is that it?
It's Pen,
Maybe
Pen
the
or
seed has
Tet?
been growing.
It's been
Just-
building
just
up this
Tet.
whole time, collecting interest.
But my luckiest day was when I hit a Tet Black Star, got the Elton piece, made a Tet Tungrad belt when they were really expensive, and then also made a Tet Tungrad ring all in one day.
Oh my god.
It was nutty.
That's absurd.
The
I will
amount of gains
say-
he got was just dumb. It was just
Just
insane.
so everyone knows, the Tet Black Star Awakening actually does increase your grind speed by like a pretty significant amount. It feels like without a draft, it feels like I'm grinding with a draft when I had my Pen Dandy before.
That's how
Like
I
it's-
put it. Yeah.
It's a pretty noticeable difference, actually. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, it can. It's just the thing you got to evaluate for yourself is it going to cause me to require less skills in each pack, which will overall affect my actual trash per hour. It might
I
feel
only use
better,
2
but how much
skills.
is my trash? Well, yeah, well, you're a little different. You just set up your skills and then you go get your coffee.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's your most carried day?
Most carried
When he
day.
hit the duo the other
Yeah.
day.
I still maintain that all of my RNG got sucked out for the rest of my lifetime when I opened a boss bundle for the very first time on the very first day they introduced boss bundles from the scrolls, and I got a Beg's gloves from a Beg bundle,
That's pretty
which
good.
is like insane. Like day one of them introducing the boss scroll bundles, I got boss gear, and this is before like Pry Pen. This was when like having like fucking plus 15 like Uria and Terratos was like the highest geared in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like that was insane.
You were
And I
just
think
wearing
I've
them
been
at
suffering
base.
ever since.
You were just wearing them at base, and they were an upgrade, dude. Back then, I've had 3 different instances that I don't know which one is more. But when I got my first Crescent Ring to Tet, it took a few attempts, and I was struggling with try. But when it finally went Tet, my second one went Tet right after in one tap. So that was kind of nuts. Back when Crescent Rings were good. Another one is I watched people go to Vel for the first few weeks that it was out, and it looked terrible. And then someone baited me into going, and I was complaining the whole time. It was my very first time at Vel, and I got the heart. And it was like actually an upgrade. And I was like, oh shit. And that was also back when like not a lot of people had Vel's heart yet.
Yeah.
And then my last one is probably I hit pen on my Zarka on a reasonable. It was like my 18th attempt. And I had crons left over, and I was excited I got it, so I said fuck it, and I went for pen bags on a 95 stack, and that also went right after in one tap.
Nice.
I had a couple good days. And I had a couple bad days. Anytime I enhance a Kudum is probably my worst day ever. Kudums hate me.
Yeah, a couple of my interesting times was I was just started going to like Zarko way back, like when Rezler said with the plus 15 days. Laverto being like best in slot for the average player to get, but Zarko like just recently came out, and I was showing my cousin the game. He was over. I was like, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna go to this boss. I won't get anything, but you know, it's just somewhere you could potentially get some gear. I ended up getting a Zarka box, and back then same thing. Like no one fucking had that kind of shit. And then so that was pretty cool. And then the other thing was when I bought I gathered up enough ogres, and I got 3 ogres set up for a Tet attempt. 3 tri ogres set up for a Tet attempt. Tapped on the first one, and it went. Then I'm like, well, shit. Guess I'm done there. So I sold the other 2. Didn't go for those. That was a pretty good day. I think that was probably my best ones.
That's a good feeling, right?
Yeah.
What's the unluckiest day?
Ugh. Going for my fucking 8 disto attempts. At disto attempts. But that was not just like one single day, that was multiple days.
I had one bad. I got a duo Tungrad neck. You've heard this story before, but I got a duo Tungrad neck as a straight drop from Hysteria. And I had it listed for a price, and the price started tanking. And the marketplace had just come out, the central marketplace. And I guess I was too stupid to understand the interface. So when I tried to relist it at a different price, I accidentally bought a second one.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh shit. So I tried to wait it out. I waited like 2 weeks. The price kept tanking. And I was like, dude, if one of these goes try, I profit. So I went for try on both. They both failed. And then I was frustrated, and I went for Tet on my Tri Tungrad belt, and that also failed. And I was like, I just had lost so much money. I was so sad. I was so depressed.
There's definitely been days where I would go to enhance like the disto attempts, and I would just log off for the rest of the day. I'm like, nope, I can't. I feel like I lost everything right there in that moment. It really makes you feel that way sometimes.
I think the unluckiest day for me was probably, ironically, the day I hit my second pin ever. I got pin Kudum, which first of all is unlucky in itself. Whenever you only have one other pin, it's like, really, this is the second pin.
Oh, the roulettes, yeah.
And so I sold it, and I was like, okay, I already have a pin dandy. I was like, I could buy pin armor, or I could buy like earrings, or just like something high end, because I had like 16 billion silver, which is like unheard of for me. And so ultimately, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and buy a Dawn. Well, I was like, I'm either gonna buy a Dawn or a Disto, and I basically coin flipped it as to what I was gonna buy. Because to me, I was like, I'm gonna get a Dawn and a Disto, so I can have a little bit of accuracy and then a little bit of AP. That makes sense to me. So I bought the Dawn for like 15 billion silver, and then of course, like a week later, they announced that Odalita is coming out, and now Dawns are down to like 6 billion. Tet Dawns,
man.
and I am still salty about it to this day. And I don't think I'll ever get over it.
I still find it hilarious.
Like literally,
So
there was no sign of Odalita in sight for us. Like they hadn't said shit about it. And then like 3 days after I buy my Tet Dawn, they're like, by the way, Odalita's coming out next week. And I was just like, no. And on like the first day, it dropped like 2 billion silver. I was like, no.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
that is, dude. Buying it for that much and it falling that much that fast is that's rough, man.
It's heartbreaking.
It's even more heartbreaking that I basically put it up to a coin flip. And if that coin flip had just landed opposite, like I would have bought a Disto and I would be fine. Like I wouldn't, it wouldn't have mattered. But no, it landed fucking like heads or whatever, and so I bought a fucking Dawn.
Scarleta, your worst enhancement day? Or your worst luck in the game, I guess, not necessarily enhancement day.
My pin dandy.
Selecting Maewa as a class.
Probably other than that.
No, you had 2 glorious years. I don't want to hear it, dude.
Yeah, it was a good time.
There was.
I still enjoy Maewa a lot. It's just I can't play it in Siege, or I can, but I shouldn't. The
Just
worst was
ending
my
your
pin
guild.
dandy. I got it to 200 fail stacks. Croned it 35 times.
Oof.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
After that, I just bought everything.
And it's
Yeah,
worked out ever since. Now we're 309.
That'll happen, dude.
Besides some accessories, which I've gone for. I've lost a lot on Disto gambling, though. Don't gamble Distos, boys. Just sell them.
I had a really unlucky streak. I was in Black Rose for a while, and the first time we got Valencia Castle when I was in there was awesome. I got a ton of shit. And then the second time I went 32 loot scrolls with Castle Buff and on Arsha on the 5 Elton when that was like the rotation on a Mystic, and no rare drop, no Black Shard, no Tungrad Neck.
Well, you know what your first mistake was joining Black Rose.
No, dude.
Oh, man.
Hey, at the time, not to bring back bad memories, but I was in that siege with Black Rose when VRTX finally threw in the towel.
He who must not be named. That was a dark time.
No,
He's
no,
not
no.
considered Vertex.
No, prior, older. I was in Black Rose when it was Code Black versus Chotex when Vudani was still there. Right
okay.
before Vudani and Winter left, yeah. Those were the good times.
That was a
dude.
dark time too.
I actually tried to get into Vertex at the time, but
That's who it was, Winter.
Winter didn't get back to me in time. He got back to me after I had already joined Black Rose.
Actually, that was more like a shift from the old guard to the new guard, really,
Yeah.
of leadership. Just
It was still hard. It was still hard for a little while though, because I don't know. At least the way, like Vertex definitely like fell off a bit for a while before it before it went to the actual dark time. But they were still like relatively strong.
The real dark times.
Yeah.
the snap.
Yeah, I feel like you guys kind of quietly got strong again, because like when I was in Relevance like a few months ago, and I don't know, I just assumed we would run you guys over on like a 30-man, and you guys had all wizards, and I like couldn't move at all. I was just being hit by random shit. People had no idea it was there, and I was like, yeah, this is awful. When did Vertex get so many wizards already? Oh my god.
Isn't it crazy that you said that they got strong, and by got strong you mean they brought a lot of wizards to a fight?
Well, yeah,
That's
I mean,
what it is.
that's really all you got to do to like.
Does that
really
not
beat-
just tell you everything you need to fucking know about large scale right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So they got strong after the tag system was introduced.
I don't
No,
know. Actually,
we
I
were
don't
on the
know.
upswing before that.
Yeah, I know. Just fucking around.
Yeah, I don't know if the tag system was it out at that time. I think it hadn't come out yet, or maybe it
It
did.
was after. I think it was after. Because I really was pushing the tag system.
Yeah. So, do you guys require or highly recommend
Yes.
wizard tags?
Yeah.
So if I come apply as a Kuno, it's really no shot unless I switch to wizard.
Are you 675 gear score or higher?
I am.
Oh, then you actually have a shot.
Hey.
Are you gonna make him trial 3 times in a row?
We don't do trials, we just do mercs now.
Yeah.
That's just the way to do it. Trialing someone, you can see that they're decent 1v1, but then they get into large scale and they shit the bed.
What classes do you guys like? Are you most disappointed? Like if someone's like, "Hey, I got a friend who's 680 gear score that wants to join," and you say, "What class is he?" Which class are you absolutely hoping they don't respond with? Like, what's the least desired class for your guys?
Probably Nova, huh?
I mean, at least Nova could have the wall, but that's really only for defense. We would not consider a Nova, wouldn't consider a Succ Tamer. Maybe a Meiwa for flex. A Musa as well, Kuno, Ninja. Succ Zerker now. Poor guys.
Oh man.
Yeah. It'd be like that. But just swap to Awakening and they're good. We'd love some Awakening Zerkers.
You hear that? Busted class, Rose. Busted class. He said they'd love Awakening Zerkers.
Yeah, they're Q buff.
You guys,
Yeah,
still,
3-minute class, dude. It's OP.
you guys still like archers?
Not as much. It's like if you're gonna play an archer, why aren't you on a Succ wizard?
Well, all right. If you were gonna say Succ ranger, you can't say Succ wizard because that's true for literally everybody.
I would take a Succ
I think
ranger.
that's the point.
I mean, even a really, really highly geared and skilled archer can do well. Selder in our guild does really well. Yarnko, they both do well. It's just like they recognize that they could do better on a Succ wizard, which is why Selder has a Succ wizard now.
It's so sad. I don't know why. It's just so sad. Dude, the other day I was in RBF and 2 people, I'm not going to name their names, but 2 people that I know very well that mained Kuno for 3 years kept killing me on their wizards in RBF, and it just breaks my heart, dude.
I feel bad when
I
said
can
Meiwa.
probably name some of those for you.
I absolutely love seeing people that I know for a fact have never touched Wizard in their lives. All of a sudden, they're in RBF or in a Node War on Succession Wizard. And it's just like, yup.
And making montages. It's crazy.
Making montages.
It's pretty silly.
Meiwa's still pretty good at popping stun traps, though, right?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude,
Go.
Meiwa and Moose are the best classes in the game for popping stun traps. I really feel like they don't appreciate that enough. No one is as good as Moose and Meiwa at popping stun traps.
A lot
Should
more.
probably nerf those classes.
A lot more people
Yeah,
would
probably
play
should.
them if at the end the war score showed how many stun traps were popped.
True.
I know you weren't gonna name names, but was it Epo?
No, but he is another one. Yeah, he is another long
I
time
thought for
Kuno.
sure you were gonna say Epo.
No, I see him on a wizard all the time too, but no, I wasn't referring to him.
Was he a Kuno?
Yeah.
He played Meiwa, then Kuno, and then he's now a
I
disgusting
didn't
Succ
know
wizard.
he was. Oh, yeah, he was on Meiwa. That's right.
He was originally Meiwa way back. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys remember?
I miss Epo on Meiwa.
Wait, who's Scarleta, since you've always been a Meiwa, right? So, and you've always kind of known who was your favorite Meiwa? Like, who's a Meiwa that you watch? Like, dude, this guy is freaking awesome. Please don't say Nashi, but like someone you actually enjoyed watching, like back in the day. Like, you know, when you watch those highlight videos, like, dude, this guy's so good, or whatever. Or you see him PvP and you just know like this Meiwa's different. Like, who are some of the best Meiwas you've seen?
So I will say Nashi for 1v1 for sure, but there's no other Meiwa out there that was really playing at my level. The only other Meiwa that I can think of right now that I would say is at my level in large scale is Coco. And guess what?
Coco is good.
Guess what?
What?
They're on a Succ whiz.
Yeah. Well, you both you both are.
We both are.
Yeah.
We both are. No, I was gonna say we both are now. So it's like that's just really sad.
Now you hold hands and double TP together.
Yeah.
Well, we were killing each other in RBF yesterday. It was funny. And it's like, yep. I wish I could like talk to that person and like say, yeah, man, I understand the feel. We gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, it sucks. It's depressing, man. I hope it gets addressed soon. I mean, everyone looks at it as just like complaining about balance. I get so much like, dude, if you just learn how to play your class, you could deal with wizards. It's like, no, it's a whole nother problem. It's like, it's a crazy amount. It just affects everything. It dictates.
I
the
did
entire
have,
game.
like way back in the day, I would say there's a little bit of a rivalry between Feeds and I. When he was in Man Up,
Beads,
and I was Iconic / Vertex. We'd always like be 1v1ing off to the side, but I do remember this one last kill I had on him. I just chased him down in the Valencia siege, and that's the last siege he ever did.
You basically.
You saying you sent him to play Arcade Unchained?
I wish he'd come back and play Meiwa, but I know he's come back a few times and
he kind of
played a
like
few
dips in
classes.
and out.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever stick to it though. He doesn't want to get
Vert
back involved.
Vert liked to spar with me on Meiwa back in the day, back at Gaifen. That was a good time.
Dude, I remember one time my guild, I was the GM of Hex for about a year, and we went to help siege demo one time. You remember the guild demo? They were the FML reincarnate, like old demo. Like I'm talking like 2 years ago now. Demo.
Yeah. I remember.
They came back and they were mostly FML players and they were sieging. They got like pretty strong. And they wanted to 2v2 or do some like weird thing on Serendia with barcode. So they asked us, we node ward against them, and like they thought that we node ward really well. And like last minute asked us if we wanted to place on siege with them. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if we're gonna be able to bring people. We don't siege. Like you saw us on a mandatory node ward day. It's the only reason why we had people, you know? So he's like, it's fine, just come. We're gonna have 2, we'll make it like a 3v2 and try to balance it out. And I was like, all right. We go and Man Up is placed on Serenity at the time. This is when everyone was like kicking Man Up off of their territory. So Man Up was placed on Serenity.
The 19 guild alliance.
Yeah. So it was like all of these guilds against Man Up, and Vert was on his Meiwa at the time, and he literally came up and ulted. And like this, Hex was like a small T1/T2 guild. This is before T1s were what they are now. So Vertex's ult literally killed almost the entire guild. Like just all of us died. It was so sad. The Meiwa ult back then was so nutty.
It was intense.
Oh man, bring that back.
Yeah,
I really think if they gave
shadow
us,
of its
Was
former
that-
self.
Was that the same war where Jeffy was like, Hex, who's that? Free
Yep.
kills. And then he dove in, got instantly grabbed and murdered. And he's like, sorry for disrespecting Hex. Sorry for disrespecting.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep, that was the same war. It was the same war also where
You guys-
Demo goes, where the fuck are you guys? Come help us. And then I'm like, we're on our way now. We all get on our horses, run across a bridge. We didn't know barcode was there, and all of us die on our horses going across this bridge.
Oh my god.
And then like 30 seconds later, he's like, dude, where the fuck are you? I'm like, we died on the bridge. I'm so sorry. I told you we suck. Stop being mad at us. Dude, we were playing red light, green light because they wanted a 1v1 barcode for a while, remember? We were playing red light, green light with the gate. So we're sitting there waiting for him to tell us like when to go. It was so funny, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah. You guys remember that weird stint in where Lakari was playing Meiwa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how OP that class was, dude. All the streamers were playing Meiwa for a little while.
I remember like
what was it? Was it
moments.
King Ape? I think it was King Ape.
Yeah.
He saw me playing Meiwa and he went Meiwa. I swear it. I fought him on the top of Pirates Mountain one day and just cleaned his clock. And then the next day in war, I just randomly killed him because he was spectating. I wasn't even meaning to. And the day after that, he was a Meiwa.
So you were the reason we got King Ape, huh?
I guarantee it.
Since you've been around for such a long time, you're an old timer like me. What are your thoughts on like Lakari back whenever he played this game? Because in my opinion, ever since Lakari stopped playing, I hate to say this, but this game's gotten a lot more boring. That guy made content for this fucking community.
Oh
man.
yeah, it was.
But if you love to hate him, he made content, bro.
Sure, he's entertaining. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think he had much to do with the leadership of his own guild.
No, he had nothing to do, no.
So from that perspective, I didn't really hate him. Like Man Up, what it was a couple other people running the show that were just dense. So that's kind of why I think they deserved the hate. But like Lakari himself, he's just a personality.
Yeah, the old, you probably remember this, the old Orca Lakari stuff back when Orca still played too, like back when server merge first happened.
So that was like a lot of Eden drama, right?
Well, no, Orca was Barcode, and they were
Orca
Una.
was the original Uno.
So the whole drama, the whole thing
I didn't see
started
much of that
because
drama, to be honest.
Orca and Lakari played Terra together, and so everybody was saying that whenever the server merged happened, that Barcode and Man Up were going to team up, and that no one was going to be able to like defeat them, and they were going to like rule the entire merged server together. But then like Orca started just like fucking around, essentially, like Orca did. And it just turned into a big meme. There was the war on Valencia with like 18 forts or whatever, where Man Up just got absolutely zerged by a bunch of like nobodies. It was fucking hilarious.
Okay, yeah, I didn't catch much of that drama. Besides, I knew something was happened in Terra or something like that. I knew that had to do with Terra, but yeah, I was still, I think, at that point. More of just a member than upper leadership, so I didn't have quite as much knowledge on like what was going on with politics, all that stuff. Good times though; those are fun times.
That's what I'm saying, man.
For
Yeah,
Awakening,
that was when everything was like every day you could go on Reddit and there'd be some new fucking drama pop up.
Yeah, there was something new every day.
And you're waiting for the next. You're waiting for the next game of guilds to come out. You're like, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
It's like the next anime episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit was so fucking funny back then.
Good time.
All right.
There was
I guess we should.
I mentioned this last week, but there's a video of a Lazy Peon trying out BDO from like 4.5 years ago, and he's in RBF on a Sorc, and he's like literally unkillable, and he only has like he's got like plus 14, plus 15 gear, and that's it, and like just going around spamming Dark Flame over and over and over again, getting kills, not doing any other abilities.
Yep.
Oh, dude, the good old days.
Huh.
Want to talk about the Nova changes real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say we should probably move on because we've kind of just been like talking
Yeah, we've been
about
reminiscing,
nothing for a good amount of time.
About nothing, dude. It's toxic. It's history. The history of the game, man.
We're talking about stuff that's not on the schedule.
It's all right, dude. All right. So
the dynamic.
The Nova got her core skills. Okay, so let me switch over to my Nova. So I say the skill
Core skills
names
and
right.
Rabams.
Yeah, she got her core skills and Rabams. So we'll go over the core skills real quick. So I do think a couple of them are pretty good. And I know that guy that got mad at me and said he stopped listening because saying no one would use frontal guard on a long range movement CC. I still stand by that. I think practically speaking, a lot of people are not going to use the frontal guard on Comet, even though it is kind of cool. Unless you're using it only as a gap close. But yeah, one of the core skills, Swooping Ring, is getting a stiffness on good hits. That's the forward R&B skill where she throws the little scythe and then jumps to it and does an AoE. It's super armor movement with a stiffness on the hit, and that also applies to the Excel version. Comet, which is the forward F skill that dashes you forward, ignores collision, has a knockdown on good hits, is getting frontal guard. It's another option. Frozen Ring, I haven't tested this. Hopefully someone has, but Frozen Ring, which is the shift Q where they kind of sit there and channel a little scythe spinning ability in front of them, is getting a stiffness on good hits. I don't know if this is only the first hit or any of the hits. So if anybody knows, let me know. Hopefully it's not just on the first hit, because if it is, it's completely useless because they'd be out of the stiffness before the animation's over. But, you know, that's how they like to do things sometimes. Isn't Devastation that way? Like, aren't they, if you just hold Devastation, do they get out by the end of it if you do the whole animation?
What, like, you mean the AoE?
Yeah, like if you pick the
100%.
bond with the stiffness and you do the entire Devastation, aren't they out of the stiffness? Or is it a stun? Maybe it's a stun on Devastation.
Yeah, I think it's a stun on Deva.
Yeah, because
but still, nobody takes it from what I know, anyways.
On Spin Spree, it's a stiffen. If you do the extended version, it's really dumb.
Kind of useless.
Yeah. This skill can't really be canceled either, so unless it's cancelable in the future, we'll see. Royal Fencing, which is the SLMB. This one I think is the worst one. This one is getting a bound for some reason. Royal Fencing, I don't know how to pronounce it. Fletch, someone got mad at me for pronouncing it wrong. I'm calling it Fletch. I apologize. Is getting a stiffness on good hits. And then Starfall, which is Shift R&B, the one like hard hitting skill where the swords come out, is getting super armor. So 12-second super armor skill with float. So yeah, I think the Starfall one and Swooping Ring are pretty good, and then Comet I think is okay, but I don't think people would use it over the other two personally. You guys have any thoughts on the core skills?
From the PvP that I did on Awakening Nova, I feel like I very rarely got CC'd in Comet anyway. Honestly.
That's the other thing. That's the other reason why it'd be kind of a waste. Because you can make another skill powerful, or like kind of buff this one that's already kind of hard to catch unless you're just jumping through someone already using a CC. Yeah, I think that one's like, you can avoid getting CC'd relatively easily with that one, if you play it right. The Rabams skill. So let me see. Let me find I had a video of this. Not my own, but someone had a video of this that was pretty good. But the Rabams skills also are a little bit, I don't know, they're a little bit underwhelming, to say the least. I don't know. I'll have to see when it comes to live server if they actually hit hard or not, but right now they kind of look like they just don't at all. Let's see if this is one.
Most Rabams typically don't.
Yeah. Chemo, I always refer to Chemo's videos for these because he always does a really good job making these videos. So I'll link it. Oh, here, let me link it to you guys. In the chat and in the Discord. But yeah, the Rabams look only okay. I don't know. They don't look that good to me. The damage numbers on them are quite low. This one that says it greatly moves you backwards is literally just a scoot back. It's the first one in that video. The description when we saw like the little leak says like greatly moves you backwards, like retreats you backwards, but it's like 3 character lengths and quite slow. But none of the damage on any of them seemed that good. So I don't know. I'll have to see if they work well with the pawns or Axion in some way, then maybe. But outside of that, like they all seem pretty underwhelming. for the most part. I don't see any way for these to like maybe in a combo, but I don't see really how it helps Awaken Nova at all with feeling more fluid. Because like Rabams generally like kind of are that little gap between awakening and pre-awakening that feels really nice. But these ones just, I don't know. I don't think so. Rez, you've been playing Succ Nova. How do you feel about these Rabams?
Well, this is the first time I'm looking at him. I don't know. The issues with Succ Nova, I feel like, can't really be fixed with Rabams. Honestly, I don't know. The issue with Succ Nova is that if you get slowed, you're fucked. The grab is impossible to land, and the whole cock taking your HP thing is really shitty, especially for grinding if you don't have the infinite pot piece. Because you basically are just killing yourself. If you want to beat a Succ Nova, you can just make them run out of pots and then they'll fucking kill themselves. It just sucks.
Yeah. So Succ Nova got some changes. So let me go over these changes real quick. They basically buffed Frozen Darkness, Frozen Earth, Stamma's Mate, Fiend Shadow, and Entangling Icy Thorns by about 50 to 55% per hit. Which I don't know if that'll be enough, but it's a step.
It's a good damage buff, yeah.
Yep. A little damage buff. They buffed Affliction, which is, what is this one? I always forget. This is the skill that people didn't even realize is a succession skill, the R&B skill. If you hover over it, it has succession version. They buffed the damage on that one a little bit. I don't know, maybe for combos. They changed the way the damage comes out of the Swooping Ring skill, which is forward C. But the major things I wanted to point out here. So they did a bunch of like link improvements between abilities. Actually, quite a few. Some that I think will be pretty good to speed up Shift Q, to speed up coming out of some of the slower animations, like going directly into a different ability. But the big one that I noticed that Rezlar probably will like is Punishing Trap, which is the grab, has been improved so that you can stop more quickly by pressing S after the mace hits the ground. So you don't have to run all the way to your death if you fail a grab. You can press S and you'll stop running.
That's a good change. I'd still just rather they separate those two fucking abilities. But I suppose that's an in-between that maybe will work.
Yeah.
Did they also make it to where you don't have to be pinpoint accurate from the moment you cast the skill to the moment it connects with your target on the grab?
No, you definitely still have to be X Counter-Strike Pro.
Then it's stay and lock, baby. I'm not kidding. I locked that fucking skill. That skill is fucking god-awful. I fucking locked it.
It says the skill's also been improved so that additional hits can be activated more quickly when left-clicking after hitting the ground, and that you can link to other skills quickly when the additional strikes are activated. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's that one's weird. And yeah, a couple like little speed up improvements, but that's it. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be enough to make the class like super viable. To be honest, every time I run into one, like when I run into RBF, I've been going to RBF on my Hashashin. Every time I go into RBF, I'm like, I can just literally engage, and there's nothing they can do. It feels that's how it feels. Like I can just sit there and dance around a Nova, and even though they are a 360 block class, like it's not like they can do anything back to you. So you could just stay there and keep attempting CCs and damage for like ever. It feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Scarleta is were you interested in Nova before you saw it, or you had no interest from the beginning?
Like kind of half and half, really. I wanted it to be proven to be interested in it, and it wasn't, so I guess I'm not.
Yeah, the being pretty much nullified by slows is not good for this meta.
No. I already got one class that does that.
Yeah.
That's the most confusing thing about it, is like, Slow stacking is such a huge issue in this game, and then they come out with a class that if you get even one slow on you, all of a sudden it is fucking miserable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I say that as a berserker, and I've maintained for a long time that berserker is one of the classes that's fucking hardest to play with a slow on you. Like, it being slowed as a berserker is also a death sentence because there's nothing you can do. Your giant leap all of a sudden goes 2 feet for some reason. You can't lava pierce out. Like, you basically have to V if you get slowed as a berserker. There's just nothing you can do. Unless they don't have a grab, then you can just heal. But if they have a grab, you can't heal. So you just have to fucking V. And it's like, I'm on Succession Nova, and I'm like, never before did I think I could find a class that is fucking even worse whenever you get slowed.
True.
The animations are still super cool in Succession, so I hope they keep buffing it.
Oh, it's probably one of, if not my favorite class visually.
Yeah.
Like Succession Nova, honestly.
Yeah, that's
But-
what kind of drew me to it in the first place. But then it turned out. See, that's the thing. They design these cool things in a vacuum, I think.
Yeah. I still almost feel like, again, Alex Jones, hi, how are you? I still feel almost like this was, like, 2 separate teams that designed this pre-awakening and this awakening that were, like, never in contact with each other. Because
Maybe.
it is so disconnected.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
They design these things on paper and they try to execute it, and they somewhat do on their side. But then when they introduce it into like an RBF with 59 other people that have 650 plus gear score, it falls apart. And what is simple works, and what is simple is basically Succ Whiz. Large range damage with AoEs, and one of the best escapes in the game, if not the best, teleport. Oh, not to mention heals.
Yeah. So if you're a Nova, play Wizard.
Yeah.
If you're
If you're anything else than
if you're
Succ
not a
Wizard.
wizard, a guardian, a witch, or a Valkyrie, you should probably be playing wizard.
And I'm really just thinking large scale. 1v1 is a different ball game, but it's a different set of problems that we haven't really touched on, which are shield grab. Those 2 things are just so OP in 1v1.
So what do you think should happen? Should grabs be removed, or should every class have a grab, or what would you do to change it? Because you feel like grab's too powerful, and the 360 block, which I say 360 block because it's easy to say, but meaning you have frontal guard and super armor at the same time while blocking.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what should be changed with both of those, or what's your problem with them, and what would you do about it if you could?
The first thing, see, that's the thing. You start touching 1v1 and it affects large scale. Like
Mhm.
warriors, you remove that super armor on their back, and then in large scale, all they have is the frontal guard. Man, they're gonna get screwed. But
Yeah.
like, you give them that super armor on their back, and classes without a grab have to do double the work to get the CC.
Hmm.
Now, the counter would be, well, you have a chase, which gives you the super armor constantly. It's true. It's nice defense. And it even works as an offense, but you still have to land the CC. And if you have that constant protection, where's the gaps? When they're attacking? Sure, but then you risk, getting hit, CC'd, slowed. So, I guess immediately what I would do is somehow work it that every class had a grab. And then that means they would have to adjust certain classes. Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Because that would be a big change.
I threw this hypothetical out a while back, and a lot of people got upset with me, but I was saying if the classes that had a grab, like, or that don't have a grab, got just a really basic, like super basic, like imagine the grab quality is somewhere between Wizard and Valkyrie, but absolute shit grab, but it's on like a 20 or 25 second cooldown and requires stamina to cast, then I think it would be fair, even for the classes that can run around with Chase or Sorc. Yeah. I don't think it would be that bad if they had that, to be honest. I think Sorc would be the most scary, but I mean, maybe make theirs even slightly worse, like a longer cooldown and cost even more stamina. But
T-Rex arm Valkyrie style.
But to be honest, like when I actually stop and think about if they just added it, obviously the first few weeks people would be pissed, it'd be scary and nuts. But I still just imagine, like, I really don't think it would be that insane, because if it was a grab that it has an easily recognizable fail animation and had a relatively long cooldown and requires a little bit of setup, then I really don't think it would be that bad, honestly. The other alternative, like that one seems like the most simple fix for that issue. The alternative is you have to like redesign a bunch of classes because of how many protections they have.
Well, I mean, besides that, you also propose this idea too, just like nerfing all the grabs that are sub 10 seconds to basically be around, 10 to 15 seconds cooldown. And then on top of that, nerf the slow stacking, have a max, a max slow, no matter what, no matter how many are applied to you, the maximum is only 30%. Like, it doesn't stack. Like, you can get multiple debuffs on you, but they only ever add up to 30% movement slow. That in and of itself would help out a lot. My solution is if classes like Mewa, for example, and Musa or Sorc, if they got grabs, it would honestly feel busted. Like, even if you did make them like shit tier grabs, I personally feel like that they would just kind of start shifting things in a different direction and
change it and not be a grab. And
well, I would just say as the alternative, why, like, Sorc has a lot of iframes, right? And they do plenty fine versus grab classes. Non-grab classes should have the ability to basically defend themselves versus grab classes. And we are stuck trying to go for the hard CCs, the regular types of CCs, like just is what it is, just like Sorc.
Right, so you should have reliable iframes. But that only solves half the problem. That doesn't really fix you against a Guardian. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's where, like, Guardian's like a gear check. I mean, for example, like Scarleta could attest to this. Like, as a Mewa, like, if I'm going to be fighting a Guardian that has more gear than me, it's not going to be a very pleasant time. I got to depend on him being basically not very knowledgeable on his gaps so that I can exploit them. Now, if I'm fighting someone that I have more gear score than, or equivalent gear score than, I can weave in and out of his abilities and actually do back attack damage, significant back attack damage, to force him to actually consider using frontal guards, which then I can exploit. But yes, it isn't a very pleasant fight, but neither is Warrior. But Warrior I can catch, as long as they just make a mistake or I outposition them and dodge their slows. Like, Warrior isn't an impossible matchup, but it fucking feels like it if you get slowed. There's things you can do, little tactics you can do. Like, yeah, sure, you might have to play a little rat mode, but if I have iframes, I can be in and out of their AoEs without taking much damage, allowing me to trade more effectively. Like, as an example. So if I can actually trade well, that actually makes it a kind of a fair fight. Because let's think about it. Guardian doesn't really focus too much on grabbing. The only time they grab is if they actually land a stiff. So I'm not really concerned about grabs per se. I'm worried about their AoE damage.
Well, so instead of making it just a straight grab, make it only work from behind. So, like, change, just for example, our kicks, which for the most part are kind of useless.
They could remove 3 of our kicks and I'd be happy.
Yeah, just give us the one kick that if it hits someone from behind, it acts like a grab.
Interesting.
Like, guys, this kick animation is terrible. It's so bad, and it's like not at all. It has no range to it.
Right. So
It's
if you
bad.
get, well, the cooldown on it would have to be longer, but yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, the
On
cooldown
a
would
class
definitely
like yeah, maybe have like just one skill, like their grab on like a Sorc or a Musa, you'd have to get a back attack or it fails, regardless of their protection. That would be interesting.
And
that
to
way
be
there'd be a
fair, you
prerequisite.
could make it like maybe a bound or a KD that like a bound type, but not like a true grab, but just
Right,
like
it's
a
like
bound
short.
CC that ignores protections.
It's like a shorter CC, you're saying.
That
so they're
way,
not, like,
at
knocked
least
down.
they could probably be lame about it, and if they wanted to go resistance, they could. But at least there's some counter to it, just like there is with grab resistance.
No. Don't. Let's not start throwing resist in there. Fuck resist. Don't.
Well, I know we all
Catered-
agree fuck resistance, but I'm just saying, like,
We
if
have
you
to
wanted
have
to make it fair, kind of thing.
I think that's a very interesting thing. Like a skill that's like, yeah, if you had like a grab with like kind of decent prerequisites,
Yeah,
then it wouldn't feel
you
like.
can
'Cause, yeah, I
basically
guess
it won't
like
go through a frontal guard, but it could hit a super armor in the back, kind of thing.
that'd be interesting. That would be kind of interesting. Yeah, I just think I
Love
would
it.
love to just see it for a while. I mean, I honestly don't even think it would change the meta in 1v1s very much at all. It would just make people less frustrated at the end of the day.
Why not just make grapple arrow an actual grab?
Yeah, right.
Here we go. No, I'm just fucking.
You want to piss off some warriors and some belts, that's how you do it.
Man.
Yeah.
I just hope that this interim of pretty much no balance changes that they've done, they're doing a lot of testing right now. I really hope that, but after so long of being
Yeah, they're testing
disappointed,
Hadum servers and Hadum skills, man.
yeah, working on terrible dead content. Yeah, they put all their effort in the wrong areas. Most of their effort, not all. They just don't understand their audience.
Well, I think the no word change is at least them attempting to do
Trying
some
to understand.
adjustments. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot for them to tackle. Honestly, there's a lot of issues that players complain about all the time, but there is a lot of good in the game too.
I wish they
A
would
lot
have
of good
started with
elements.
balance first, but that's probably the most difficult and why they
Well,
don't
but
tackle it.
But they've been doing like random little balance stuff for years now, and Node War still sucks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the Node War has to be changed because the thing is
Yeah.
with Node War is like
It's a big aspect of PvP in this game.
it's like the only way to do group like PvP that's organized with like at least some semblance of reward and bragging rights, and just the way it's set up right now is just I don't know, man. It's not that fun of an experience unless you have a pre-set up organized fight between two guilds that are relatively close. Otherwise, it's just
It's
kind of awful.
It definitely needs updating. And the balance train they should have been doing this along the way. They've done small changes here and there, but I think they're due for another big balance update. Because things
Yeah.
have just gotten out of control.
Yeah.
Suck was.
I don't know. I've said it a bunch of times, but I find it interesting if you think about like the succession classes, and they all came out, and a lot of them were way too strong, and like Lon got nerfed immediately, and Musa got nerfed immediately, and Kuno and Ninja and everybody, and then for whatever reason, I don't know how, it's eluded all of the balance updates. Wizard has not been touched at all, even though it's been the most complained about. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
It's in the queue, Frosty. It's in the queue.
It's in the
Those
queue.
leaders-
3 years to go. That's
Perlibus leadership loved the
We'll get
class, I
there.
guess.
Yeah.
I guess in a lot of Korean games, Wizard is very powerful, I've been told. Just the Wizard class. They like
You're saying
wizards.
in Korean games in general, like mages?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
bunch of fucking Harry Potters, man.
Yeah.
That's just what I've been told. I really don't have much
mean-
more experience in Korea games.
Well, I was thinking about
than
this
this.
when you mentioned earlier that range classes just have a huge advantage and always have in a lot of games.
Yeah.
I played Ion for a little while, like way back in the day, and Ion it was like one of the I want to say it was one of the first MMOs, if not the first, that actually had flying combat. So you could
Whoa.
get wings and fly in PvP. And it was awesome.
With,
It was
like,
a
arc
really,
gauges.
yeah, it was a really cool idea. Well, even more than that, because you in the air you can use your skills. You had wings, like you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you could literally just both be up in the air and fight. But the problem was it was impossible to balance because the melee classes had such a difficult time getting to the range. So all of the new content after like the initial launch, you couldn't fly in PvP areas. So it was
That
like,
sucks.
yeah, kind of. Although you could still glide, which was awesome, like jump down and glide, which I wish was in BDO so much. I hate the way falling down when you're a super powerful
They
hero.
low
you'd hurt
key
your ankle.
could be doing that.
But,
The tier 10 horse. You get the hover mount.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, if you want to just... I don't think you can use abilities while you're in the air, though. Can you? While you're hovering?
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe a wizard.
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I don't think you can meteor with that.
Anyway, so overall, Nova's getting some new stuff. I think it'll change some stuff for them. We'll see. Rabams are always... Sometimes Rabams that don't look very good can end up being pretty good, or ones that look like they're good end up sucking. So we'll see. We have to see how it actually feels in game. And then the succession buffs are super minor. We'll see if they make a big difference or not. I'm sure there's going to be more changes in the future. But outside of that, I think that's kind of it. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we hop? Anything you want to ask Scarleta?
I mean, I think we pretty much covered all the basis of everything.
All
I
right.
think we're just at the point where we're getting the comments now.
So what we wanted, I have to ask Pax if he would be down, but what I wanted to do ideally was if we had all of the information about Node Wars, I thought it would have been really cool to have a couple people on, like Scarleta and Pax, and just kind of like get differing opinions, because we don't really do Siege, and you guys do, so kind of having both points of view and discuss it. But unfortunately, we don't know enough yet, so hopefully down the road, maybe we'll have you back on to revisit that. I think it'd be kind of cool to see how it ends up, I don't know, in 3-4 months after having it on server.
Yeah, that sounds good to me, because it isn't super clear yet.
No, it's just as RNG is enhancing right now, to be honest, what we're going to get.
Pretty much.
All right, so we're going to go to comments. Normally at the end of every show, we go to the previous week's video, read the comments on the show, and you're welcome to stay and chime in on your opinion on anything people comment on, or if you want to bounce, that's cool too. Totally up to you. What do you want to do?
Sure, I've got like 20 more minutes or so, and I gotta take off.
All right, let's do it.
That might not be long enough.
We'll see. Do we? I don't think we have that many. Do we? Comments?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Let's see. We had Biohack on last week. And we got 35 comments. It's not too bad.
I did not check them, so if there's some I need to remove, let me know.
Let me scroll through and see.
Yeah.
See if we get any ads. No, they all look normal right now. You blocked every spam account that exists. We're good. You hit them all. Okay. Starting from the bottom. Matthias War says, sorry, didn't like Bio much as a guest. He doesn't participate in a large portion of the game, and he's also not really somebody most can relate to. I think that's what makes him so interesting, though. I mean, I don't know. I actually love talking to him as a guest, but mostly because he made fun of Nayashe for using often. Which, by the way, Scarleta, what's your stance on often versus Zarka on a Meiwa?
Oh no.
No. Well, I'm a Zarka boy because I like my accuracy. It's not as important for Meiwa to have a ton of sheet accuracy. It surprisingly does help, though, guys. It does. I notice it more on my Succ wizard, though. Whew, boy, does that accuracy. It just shreds people. That one electric charge-up skill, it does more than half someone's health. And they've got like 650 fucking plus TP.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's actually insane how much damage that one skill does.
Troy says to tell you that he loves you for fixing tax cart.
Aw, You're welcome.
What does that mean? What's he referring to?
I had to right Black Rose's wrongs. Well, I'm not even sure how definite this is. This may have just been a rumor, but like people were saying that Black Rose touched the sliders of the castle. So I guess it's fine now, and it just took VRTX's touch.
Gotcha. Yeah. So one of the things that Biohack was saying to Nayashe that I mean is kind of where I am. It's like even if you don't need as much accuracy, it's like generally speaking at the high end, you just do more damage with Zarka. So why use an Offen? Because even the people that the Offen helps you against, the lower geared people, are dying to you anyway. So that little bit of AP like isn't really beneficial. And the other thing that I've been trying to tell Nayashe is like, it's not like your Offen is C19 and it's at a place where your Zarka can't get. Your Offen's C1. So it's like, you can get a Zarka to C5. You're just a lazy, cheap bastard.
I like my Zarka. I always have.
Yeah. Robert Von Raccoon says, holy shit, Bio needs to put a compressor on. And I remember when NA shat on EU for going evasion, then followed EU's step with the taking evasion meta. Was NA shitting on EU for going evasion? I don't think
No,
Well, that was way back in the day. Yeah.
we shat on them for going full accuracy.
Yeah, we made fun of you guys for going
Yeah.
accuracy, not for going evasion.
No.
Not
Now evasion
Also-
is poo-poo.
I do want to comment on the whole, because like I've actually had a couple people say that they didn't like Biohack much as a guest, and it's like I think that's opinions are fine, it's whatever, but you don't have to like take. I think it was just funny, like his perspective on the game. Like you don't have to look at the things he says as like genuine advice for like someone who's like a new or returning player. Like obviously it's not. I think it's more like his being on the show was more of an interesting thing, getting his point of view on things as like the richest player in BDO.
I liked
So
him on the
whenever you said like he would say like, oh well, would you prefer this or this Biohack? And then he was like, well, why not just get them both? Like that shit like that is like, it's not like advice or something for like a new player, but it's hilarious because he's the only person who would say something like that. Like, yeah, I just get like 2 sets of boss gear, easy. So it's like
not practical.
Yeah, but like that's the type of shit that he can do because of who he is. So I think it was just like a different guest than what we normally have on. So I don't know. I really enjoyed him as a guest, but I think he was different from the guests we normally have on, and that's not a bad thing. But I don't know.
He had a ton.
I think a lot of people just found it strange.
Even in I mean, yes, they're obviously like with the gear stuff for him, what he's able to get compared to everyone else is different, but he still has a ton of useful and well thought out. Like the dude is, I don't know, he's like a spreadsheet. He's a walking spreadsheet.
He is a bit of a walking spreadsheet, isn't he?
I don't know. I
In a
actually
good
really
way.
enjoy having discussion with Biohack. He's one of my favorite people to talk to about stuff. And I love that even though you wouldn't expect it, he like will literally just make fun of you and be super hard on you and kind of cuss you out. He kind of cusses people out if he disagrees with them, and it's hilarious to me. Genesis Johnson says combo break would be neat if on a 90-second cooldown and 50 BSR cost. I'm all for utility management. Sacrificing BSR for combo break, grapple break, or quick recovery would add a level to combat that I think would be enjoyable, plus provide more options for meta builds and tactics, but it's got to have a combo breaker soundbite.
Combo breaker.
I mean, if it was associated with BSR cost, I feel like 50% is insanely high amount. Like, what's the point of a 90? I don't know. But sure, yeah, we were talking about having a combo break, which I guess ties into the grab thing. But if there was like a 90-second combo break, Scarleta, do you think that would work? And let me explain the mechanics first, because it would be, let's say you're in a CC, and you press your combo break button. It goes on a 90-second cooldown. What the combo break button does basically breaks you out of the CC, and then also makes you use like just a small backwards movement, similar to like a Mystic or a Striker failed grab. So that way, the person comboing you can't just instantly win after a combo break by CCing the person that's comboing you, you're kind of spaced out a little bit, and it like resets a fight almost. But not a reset in the fact that the way V works, but a reset in that gets you out. Your thoughts?
I don't think it works in the sense of large scale specifically. Like we already have V. Mm-hmm. When you have someone in a combo, that should, at least for some classes, that should be that victim's death, because getting a combo off is not easy in large scale. Large scale kills come from random wizard AoEs or ranger range damage, usually. So when you have someone in a combo, you really don't want them to be escaping constantly. They already have escape. They have V. You want another thing to break them out. So from a 1v1 perspective, it makes more sense and sounds like it would be fun. But then again, it's the same thing. It's most classes can't get that super armor trading damage off. While some classes can, some classes can't. And if you can't, then you're pretty much dependent on the combo for the kill.
Right.
I like the intention of that, but I think it's a solution to the symptoms of the problem, which are just a lot of imbalance between classes.
What if it replaced V and escape?
Well, escape's always going to be there because it's just a mechanic that has to be there to get people out of things that they're stuck in.
But escape should legit, in my opinion, escape should have a 5-second. Like, if you use escape, it should literally say moving you in 5, 4, 3. So that way people, because that's another thing in Node War. Like, using escape to avoid death in Node War, I think is so irritating.
Oh, dude, it's so simple. Escape 1 space. I'm done. I just escaped.
Completely safe.
I'm gone. And you can do that like I think it depends, like 5 to 10 minutes. I think it's 10 minutes in Node Wars, less than RBF. I have never been clear on that.
Yeah.
But it's just so simple to do, and it's there, so people are going to use it.
Ezra B says, can you all get an Awakening Witch on, or anyone knowledgeable about the class to talk about its 1v1? Just more about it. I don't know anyone good that plays it.
Because most people choose the path of least resistance and go to a class with a grab. Why would you want to 1v1 on a witch? I know and appreciate you trying to do that. Hey, I got a Spectre's Energy. That's nice. That's not a pot. That's not a pot piece, but that'll help with the Black Star. I don't
know if it's related to grab. I mean, people still play Sorks for 1v1.
It's part of the problem, but then the other part of the problem is mobility, for which, they teleport and they're just stuck. They're just a target. Like, I see that happen. I just wait for their teleports to be up, and then, oh, look, that's your back. Oh, you're dead. So I feel your pain, dude, if you're out there right now. Like, you're just disadvantaged, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Witch is just, its kit is outdated as well. Awakened Witch's kit is outdated.
A lot of things are outdated, and they leave that in the dust of Mewa.
Here's probably my favorite comment from Kaith. Serpent says, Reslar, what scuffed ass combo did you just do to biohack? No wonder you did 0 damage. No AP buff from FD, no accuracy buff from headbutt, no evasion debuff from stomp.
Man.
You also ancient wave too close and lose half its damage. Rock smash got buffed, so you don't have to C-swap to cancel the animation. You can just FD or use other pre-awakening skills for more damage. Love the show. Do better, Reslar. Zerkers are good against evasion. Heart.
Do better, Reslar.
My favorite thing about that is there's some parts of that where he's just straight up wrong. I did FD, actually. I always FD before I damage test things, and I know I did in that circumstance. I wasn't too close for the Ancient Wave. I didn't headbutt because I was trying to do a specific combo that I knew wasn't going to desync me. Because that entire day and the previous day, I had been desyncing like crazy whenever I was trying to do just normal E-grab. So I was doing a combo that I knew specifically was not going to desync, which would cause less damage. So it wasn't the most useful accuracy combo, no, but that was intentional. If I tried to do that combo, he would probably desync around me, snaking around on the fucking ground, and then I wouldn't be able to hit him.
What about the no stomp? Why no evasion debuff from stomp?
Because it's not in that combo. I just don't stomp in that combo. Like I said, that's not the normal combo I would use to kill an evasion target. I was specifically using it that day because I was desyncing like fucking mad. And literally for the past 3 days, every time I would try to E-grab someone, side cancel stomp, they would snake around to my backside and shit, so then I couldn't actually hit them.
Yeah.
It was awful. Trust me, there are certain things that I have to do because of my internet. Just believe me. If you fought me before, you know that that's true.
Supermaxer33 says, why don't they just make it so that when you are... Oh, wait, sorry. I skipped one comment. Korin Nooka says, I think resist should exist if you haven't been CC'd yet, but as soon as you do get CC'd, all resists go to 0. I would also want down smash to be counted in the CC counter, because some classes can just keep down smashing to eternity if they get lucky every single time. Super annoying, because remove resists and would leave grabs unchecked, and not all classes have the iframes to be able to counterplay those grabs. But yeah, resists are fine initially, but as soon as CC lands, resists need to drop to 0, and combos to 1 down smash to extend slightly. But they shouldn't be able to just keep stacking, at least in my opinion. All right, so two questions here for Scarleta. One, what are your feelings on resists in the game?
I don't really have a problem with it. It's annoying, but it's a mechanic there for a reason. It's definitely there's good. I mean, to obviously not get CC'd, but I think that people should have to sacrifice more AP or maybe even DP to get to these high resistances. Yeah. That is to say, you can still CC people with those high resistances. It just certain classes can get away with it better than others, Striker and Mystic. For me, the only thing that I really do different to take into consideration resistances is I have a grapple resist neck for 1v1s. And that does drop my AP a bit, but getting grabbed is death. So it's, do I want to survive or just do a little bit less damage? So yeah, I see why they're in the game. It's annoying to constantly get resisted, especially on certain classes that can't penetrate that resistance or take advantage of the resistance stacking as much.
And then 2, so he said that down smash should count towards the CC limit. I actually feel like instead of it counting towards the CC limit, I think it should just not, if they are in CC immunity, down smash just shouldn't work. Instead of, it should count towards the CC limit, instead of adding to it. Because there would be so many skills that you'd have to just, I mean, every class probably has 1 or 2 skills that just randomly will down smash in the middle of the combo when you're not intending to. It just happens to have a down smash on it. Now those skills would be kind of unusable in those combos because they'd add to the CC limit. But the ones after you're at the CC limit, if you couldn't be down smashed, would be kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's a tough thing. It's just the infinite down smash combo, or maybe the problem isn't necessarily the down smashes themselves, but that you can be reset in a combo after a down smash. Maybe that needs to be looked at. I don't know. Yeah,
that does. That's the biggest issue, I think. Because you get constantly down smashed and then you're re-CC'd. What? That's so obnoxious. It's happened in RBF a lot, mainly when Zerkers were a lot more prevalent in that E-buff of theirs. And then Mystics, of course. That was a rough time for Maywa as well. When Succ Mystic, or Awakened Mystic was the meta. And that Succ of theirs, oh, that was the worst Succ.
You had to try to do some fucking makeshift shit to deal with that.
Yeah.
Remember when I was using charged evasive shot, and it was actually
Well,
it worked back then.
I mean, I still kind of use it sometimes.
Yeah, shit doesn't work though, and like realistically, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not reliable.
It's not reliable now. Just like grapple arrow, sad.
Supermax just says, why don't they just make it so that when you are knocked down already, the second CC is guaranteed, so only the first CC can be resisted? What are your thoughts on that version, Scarleta? If they just didn't work, if you got caught and the resist didn't proc, and now you're actually CC'd, that your resists are gone until you have control of your character again.
Well, I like that as a Meiwa. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't. Because if I get the CC, I want that to be like... I mean, getting a CC, usually they're dead. They're just dead. They can't get up.
Right.
So it actually doesn't change too much for me. I don't know. That would be interesting, but I don't think that'll ever happen. That's just not something they do.
It's too complicated.
It is.
Even though it's so simple. I mean, the thing is that's crazy to me is I'm always told the argument that resists need to be in the game because rat classes would be too good against the slower classes. But the problem with that argument, at least for me, there's a lot of problems, but the biggest one is that resists hard counter the slow classes way more than they hard counter the rat classes.
Yeah.
Because the slow class gets resisted, there's nothing you can do. Like if you are a Succession Nova, you watch your float get resisted and see what happens in the middle of that animation you're stuck in. It's rough. Anyway, Breakfast Mash says, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that the one class slows do help are the classes with big iframes. So maybe not Sorc as much, because getting slowed on a Sorc does suck, but on Guardians, like I kind of think that Guardians have an advantage there with that really low cooldown iframe they have, and then they can just Phoenix dive out, and that animation, that's iframe. I just think that they gain a little bit from the slow, even though yes, their damage dips down because they can't get it out as fast. Sure.
So someone points out, if you have a problem if you're okay with CC resulting in death, then what is the issue with down smashing? It kind of seems like they're the same thing.
I don't have as much issue anymore with down smashing, just because it's not as prevalent.
Well, I could tell you, at least from like just a general point of view, is like if down smashing, you lose control of your character for anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds, sometimes even more. The other thing is, if you're going to die, it's probably because you don't have a lot of gear and the person that's killing you does, or they're just executing like a standard normal combo and you guys are similar gear, whereas like the down smashing is literally just you lose control of your character for a super long time. The other thing too is not every class can down smash. Like it would be a little bit different if every class had the same chance to do an infinite down smash combo. Then it'd be like, okay, yeah, this is just a normal thing in the game. But there's like 3 or 4 classes that can do it and the rest can't. That's the other issue. So there's kind of a lot of things. They're not really like, they don't really necessarily go hand in hand. It's not about like, oh, you dying like quickly should be killed quickly. Like the thing with resists, it's not necessarily like, so for example, if I go fight Choice and I can't one combo him, I'm not upset that I can't one combo him. The dude has a lot of gear. I understand that. What's upsetting is if in the middle of my combo I automatically lose and die because something got resisted.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what people get more frustrated by.
The main thing for me, and it's down smashes and resists for me, is just the fact that it's just RNG. Like, if things were either yes or no, it wouldn't bother me as much, but it's about the fact that you can get lucky or get unlucky, and that determines, like, a fight, is the part that really irks me about both resists and down smashes. If things are either yes or no, then you could say, well, then it's skill-based. But the fact that the shit's fucking random whenever it happens is, like, really annoying. Because then it's just like, oh, I got down smashed, I got unlucky, and that's why I'm now dead. As opposed to, oh, that person just CC'd me, and now I'm just dead.
Yeah.
I don't know, just irks me.
They stepped away from the down smash design after Mystic, I think. Mystic and Striker, just because I don't think they liked it as much. It's harder to control, and it's less fun, because it is just RNG.
Breakfast Mash says, often plus Turo Belt equals glorious blue Zarka.
Glorious blue Zarka. Hey, don't hate.
Oh, imagine, dude. Imagine running those two together. Kenichi
Oh
Sai
my
says,
God.
I feel like they...
Poor Naya.
Kenichi Sai
I
says,
said a long time ago, this is all for science.
really, really bad
I wanted to see for
kindergarten
sure
science.
what the argument was and where everything stood. Like, fucking hell. I don't promote shit. I'm just saying, basically, that the damage difference is just nothing significant to where you're just going to, like... Zarka's just going to magically do, like, 30 to 40% more damage. Like, that's just not true.
Yeah. Someone says special attack evasion is also random, yet people have them in their chest. Well, the difference, again, with special attack evasion is it does not ensure that you automatically lose a fight. You can see their HP not drop that far, and then disengage at the end of your combo if it didn't kill them. Whereas if you are a guardian and you go to use your refloat and it doesn't refloat and it fails, you lose. You automatically lose. That's the difference. Those are not the same. Like, tankiness and survivability is very different from, if this fails, you lose and die. It's a little bit different. Especially if you already made a mistake and got caught. Like that's why it's like completely different.
But also, I actually do agree. Like, I don't think, if you're going to have a truly competitive, like, player versus player game, I honestly don't think you can have any RNG. I've always despised the fact that in League of Legends, they removed dodge chance, like, years ago, because they said that, oh, well, it being RNG really doesn't make for a competitive game, but yet here we are 10 years later, League of Legends still has fucking crit chance in it. Like, I don't see how you can have, like, a super competitive game while also having something be up to chance. Whether, like, somebody does more damage, somebody gets CC'd, somebody survives something. Like, I just fucking... I hate it. And maybe you can argue, well, this isn't supposed to be a super competitive PvP game, and that's a fine argument, but I'm just saying that I fucking despise RNG in general.
I don't agree that chance can't be a thing. Chance is a huge thing in a lot of games, competitive too. Like, I mean, just the fact that you don't have vision is chance. Like, in like one of the most competitive esports is StarCraft. You have a random spawn in StarCraft in 1v1, and also you only have a 25% chance to actually do damage when attacking up a ramp. It's like, and that game was fine. I don't think the chance thing is an issue, and I don't really love special attack evasion either. But again, it doesn't guarantee that you lose, is the thing. That's the difference.
Your mistake is what ultimately guarantees you lose. Now, with a CC opportunity, like getting resisted, like you've said before, you get CC'd mid-combo, like, a class literally stands up, grabs you, you lose just because of that bullshit.
Did you guys play World of Warcraft back in Burning Crusade?
Yes.
Arenas?
Yes.
Stun lock builds, the random chance. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So they made a conscious decision to, like, step away from that randomness in PvP, and I do agree. I think that it's here in BDO because of the type of game this is, where RNG is prevalent in everything. But that's, I think, comes from actually the Korean culture too, where
they love that shit.
Yeah, and it's so ingrained in that culture that it's ingrained in this game, in everything. So with the resistances, I think they've turned to that RNG chance as a way of creating build variety. But again, certain classes can take more advantage of stacking those resistances. So it's not perfect.
Yeah. I think with the resist thing too is since it is kind of RNG like the boxes and stuff, you should probably get a celebration cheer every time you resist a CC. Kenichi Sai says
you should just get iframe and celebrate.
Yeah, I feel like the indicator stuff on the CCs, resist, and potentially the combo break you guys mentioned, PA will just say, just turn on attack decisions. That's why we put it there for. And to be lazy as fuck.
Well, stop letting it take up fucking game resources. And
yeah. Gators fan 1995 says, I'm not a huge fan of the Node War restructure. Forcing guilds to only participate on set days for the region is kind of frustrating coming from a guild that does Node War 6 days a week. The large-scale PvP is pretty much the main reason I play the game, and I enjoy warring every day, so it kind of makes being in a guild fighting 2 to 3 days a week less appealing when I could just merc every day instead. Well, I think if you own a node, I don't think it's going to stop you from mercing. You'll still be able to merc on the days that your guild doesn't node war. But that having been said, I don't know if I like the 3 days a week either. I almost feel like, I don't know, maybe 4 would be like a happy medium. 3 does feel a little bit limited. But then again, I'm in a guild that node wars 2 to 3 times a week, so I don't know. This is different for everybody. But yeah, you still have the option to merc. So I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Alchemista says, what people should do is send all Wiz Succ to the GM Node Wars in the global lab. Yeah, dude, when they do that sample Node War in the global labs, they should just send only wizards. Send a little message. Mayo Night. Okay, here we go. January 17, 2021, Florida man thinks often is good. Florida man thinks often.
Fucking oh my god.
Biohack seems like a cool guy, but I didn't enjoy the segment of the podcast that talked about him and his enhancing money-making strategies. He openly admits that we can't really do the same to make silver, so there's nothing really to take away of practical value. I don't think his advice or his perspective on enhancing is really applicable to most people, as he has the funds to be able to purely play the odds/expected value as opposed to someone who is enhancing to get gear rather than make money. Sure, in the long run, after many attempts, a certain strategy may be better expected value overall, but for a single attempt, a different strategy with a better worst case cost might be more beneficial to most players. If Biohack fails a pry and a Tri-Tongue Red Ring, he just buys more and goes again, and he'll be good. If Rezlar does, he's flat broke, and he has to go grind.
We have experienced both sides of this, actually.
Poor Rez, dude. It was worth it for entertainment for Rez to go for try and fail, but just from a game perspective, he definitely should have sold the duo.
I did suggest that.
Yeah, so did I. I felt bad him going for try. To apply it to
the most gains he's seen all fucking year.
Yeah. To apply it to a specific topic from the podcast, it's definitely not worth it for Biohack to cron pens because he's just failing the pens, and he has essentially limitless resources to obtain whatever materials are optimal. For the rest of us scrubs, we may have crons stacked up from events or whatever, and a limited amount of silver/stones. It's more efficient to use the crons and upgrade a pen to be able to move from, say, Mansions to Akhman than to save them for 18 months until you're in a position to use them or something worth. You'll gain more silver grinding at better places with better gear overall. Of course, however long it takes you to get a Black Star Dead God to buy enough crons to replace the ones you spent. It's sort of like throwing a 50-50 ball into an end zone from the 30-yard line. It's worth it to do that fairly often because the upside is so good, but it's probably not worth it to do it in the Super Bowl down 2 points with a minute to play. There's a reference that 90% of the people are not going to get. I mean, I half agree and half disagree, just because the thing is with crons is I'm not Biohack's level, and I never have been Biohack's level, and it's still more worth it to build your fail stack up so your chance of failing is reduced. And typically it's not as expensive to get Tet. Occasionally, obviously, we're going to have really bad times going for Tet, but it's really not that expensive to go for Tet, especially on like, I don't know, weapons and armor. And I do think using crons at a certain point is fine when you start, like, you save up crons, get your stack up. But I'm just speaking generally, people cron at 110, and it's just like relatively inefficient. But it also, you have to factor in how long your sanity is going to hold up if you fail going on a backup, so
Yeah. There is a level of mental
because
capacity of what you can deal with.
yeah,
I think the best thing for the mental is just buy what you want and just gamble with enhancing.
yeah, that's the other thing too, is you can just buy everything, and that's another point Biohack made, is like if you feel like the enhancement system is too hard or not fair, like you can just buy everything.
I think the mental of it is just so tough with this game if you're actually trying to make gains with enhancing. Now, all right, accessories, I think it's okay. You just be ready to lose money. Ready to lose money with gear. Yeah, it's such a pain to enhance for me. Like I do not get joy out of it, so I just want to get through it. And like I'm okay with Dead God. I actually really like their implementation of Dead God because it doesn't take much to enhance to prepare for that, besides getting the big stack, for the try or the tet. But if you're going for that, you're either hoping for that big stack to go, or you're just hoping for luck, basically at the 111 stack like I had. So I'm okay with that. It's just, it doesn't require that much actually enhancing, making the 20 stacks. You can just let those stacks that they give us pretty much build up over time, like I'm doing right now, and then just buy outfits for the crons to be ready, and you're good to go. It's like a really high risk for a really high reward that doesn't take a long time to actually prep for, but you really can if you wanted to get really sweaty about it. Like someone in my guild, they made a 330 stack, ready for try Dead God. I think it was around there. And me, I just pop it in the 111 and get it. So I like that. And I think the enhancing system makes this game unique, but the mental really, really should just, if you're having a hard time with enhancing, just buy what you want.
Yeah.
Gamble for the rest. Just have fun with that.
Dreadspark says Biohack, trillions in gear, declares accuracy the meta, gets told by Ofen Nayashi, that's Ofen Nayashi, that DR is still relevant. You can hit 467 accuracy and 290 AP without a single pen accessory. Don't be a Musa. And then he says, this insult is a little ouch, forgive me.
I don't understand.
I think he's just making fun of you. I'm all on board.
I mean, even Biohack himself said that his little metrics are a little outdated since the DP bracket changes. So, and everything's moving towards making accuracy more readily available. You can easily obtain high amounts of accuracy without much effort at all.
Okay, first of all, don't insult Biohack by calling them his little metrics, okay?
Yeah. Don't try to belittle Biohack's little metrics, okay? He has a spreadsheet longer than you are tall, Nayashi, all right? Get a grip. Now, but I do agree. Like, I don't know. I think that, and I said this a million times, but accuracy, and now even with the new necklace coming, which is going to be hard to get at first, but I don't know. There's just so many ways to deal with evasion now. So many ways. Plus, they nerfed evasion in a lot of ways. So, I don't know. I don't really hear people complain about evasion anymore. It used to be in our comments like every couple weeks, like multiple people saying you can't do anything against evasion. Evasion's not fair. And now most people are like slowly starting. Now there's a few bad apples that still have like 298 sheet accuracy that say evasion's not fair, but people are coming around.
I'm just gonna say from these siege guilds, like everyone's going DR, guys. It's happening. If you aren't going DR now, it's like you're a little behind because you can just do so much more damage with DR than an evasion setup, unless you're certain classes, I believe, or unless you're like, oh god, all the way C20 everything.
Right. That's the thing. It's kind of, dude, I just switched to DR myself, and I don't know, man. It's just it's so liberating being able to just actually kill everybody you run into. It's a whole new world.
If you haven't, guys, if you listen to this, go DR instead of evasion now.
And if you're an evasion build, this is why I say, like, obviously Striker Mystic are like the exceptions, right? Big exceptions.
Yes.
But if you're not a Striker or Mystic and you don't have Biohack's gear, if you're just an evasion C9, like, everybody can kill you so easily, except for people that are probably still supposed to be in tier 1 wars. Like, that's kind of the thing. Like, that's where it is now. Like, if you're running evasion because you wanted to be tanky and you're in a fight against Vertex, I promise you your C9 build is going to get deleted by Vertex members.
DR, baby.
C9 is not a big deal anymore.
Yeah, Striker Mystic are a little different because, well, I don't know, Mystic's kind of in a weird spot, but Striker still does so much damage even with lower AP and not that high of accuracy. And they can
really
build
do.
to be so tanky. You can actually use Sisselneck and Orkenrad and still be relatively efficient kill-wise. Ezra EB says, I cannot believe that I'm the only one getting stuck in the fucking Kama towers. I thought that it was weird that Escape took me next to it. Ah ha 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 God ba ba ba. A bunch of letters. Alexander LaFortune says Biohacks has a different objective, however. He sticks to the 1v1 and min-maxes AP to maximize the evasion. What he's trying to do is create impossible situations to his opponents and purge skill factors as much as possible from the equation. I do not wish to target him specifically, but that trend of building is a problem. Optimal AP plus evasion hybrids plus adamantine builds are a big problem. They're the most frustrating stuff to fight and are especially good for a few case classes. Hint, they tend to be extremely difficult to catch, have grapples, are tanky, have great combo potential. I can't stand those players for whom green evasion offhand with adamantine while keeping high AP is their end goal. It's just a cheese tactic and philosophy behind it is trash. Ignore 95% of the player base damage plus win when opponent gets a needed knockdown combo resisted. Yikes. Biohacks is Kudum though. At least there is some backbone to it. TLDR, adamantine needs to be changed. Nerf to 15% knock, 5% stun. I'd be fine with that. Maybe give it another stat too, because then no one would use it if it was 15-5. Maybe it should be like 15-5 and give, I don't know, 5 human damage or something, so it's like the rest of the RBF crystals. Moose Assassin says, I heard that subliminal shot you at me, Frosty. Origami says, one question on Node War crystals in the shop. What about losers? Sounds like a way for the same couple of better guilds to farm up good stuff, lol. I also tend to agree with Rezar about the changes. Feels like guilds are going to be forced to absorb or be absorbed. The number of guilds will probably go down. The system seems to be built around an exponential growth of people that will want to be in Node Wars. I don't know. Am I just blind? I just don't see it that way. I think that this is going to motivate way more people to want to participate. And to address like what about the losers? Sounds like the same way for a couple better guilds to farm up good stuff. I mean, they have to defend multiple fronts, right? How are they going to defend? Like, even Cho Nation, like, yes, Cho Nation is stronger than Corrupt and, I don't know, we'll just say Corrupt, Digital, and Brutal, right? But if Corrupt, Digital, and Brutal all like eventually connect to the nodes on different sides, like Cho Nation is not going to be able to defend against all of them. It's just not going to happen. And those guilds are going to win regardless. And you can see where the strong guilds are placed, and you can literally just place somewhere else.
That's the thing right now, is the most difficult for the smaller guilds is placing on what seems to be a fun fight, numbers-wise, and then it's Joe, Vertex, Brutal, BR, all of us just hanging out on a T2. Sup, guys? Sorry, we're going to fight here. Tough. It sucks for them, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
So hopefully this spreads the fights out more.
Yeah. I don't know for sure, though, Aura, and it's totally possible that guilds end up just shrinking and less people participate in Node Wars. I'm just failing to see the current incentive to participate in Node Wars. Like, right now, it feels like it's at its lowest, and no one wants to be a part of it. So it almost like can't be worse. Like, just try something different. I don't know. Someone in my comment says biohack, biohack, that's the man. Grim says, so you
Is
could.
that his theme song?
I don't know. Maybe he might have a theme song.
Whenever he arrives to the scene.
Grim says, so you could have the big guild all get together and prevent anyone taking the starting nodes other than them. Just use politics to decide who's allowed out of the starting node. First of all, there's way too many nodes to orchestrate that, and also all the big guilds do not get along. Maybe, I don't know what server you're on, but the big guilds are not going to all prevent any of the small guilds from getting it. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to work together in that way.
There is so much bad blood out there between long-time people. It's so silly.
I can tell you what almost certainly is going to happen. There's going to be guilds, siege guilds, that try to fuck over other siege guilds from getting a specific node.
Sure.
So they'll build in a region that they know that this other guild is going to go for. And then because the whole region is a fight and that you don't have to be on the same node as another guild to go fight them, they're just going to go over there and fuck with them so that they lose their node, basically.
That would be the idea on Friday.
And then that guild's going to have to, eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, they're going to have to figure out that, we're going to have to have some insurance of some sort, so they're going to have to team up with other guilds to go fight the other siege guild at their location so that they can't all just go gangbang the first guild that was getting attacked. It's going to be a goddamn nightmare.
It's going to be pretty sweaty at first, that's for sure, until people fall into the routines, which nodes they go to, where, what time of week. And that's my worry, is after this initial frenzy, everyone just spreads out and it stagnates.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, though, about the spreading out and stagnating part is you have to start on a starting node, which kind of limits where you can go. Because, all right, so I was saying earlier that there's one less total node, but that's including everything. Starter nodes, there's way fewer.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only 4 or 5 in every region of whatever, 5 regions. So at most, there's only 25 starter nodes. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. We'll see how it plays out. But I don't know. Again, it's kind of it feels really stagnant right now. Unless you organize with a friendly guild or someone that wants to skirmish, generally it's really difficult to even find a fight, an actual fight.
Yeah, it is.
Vel is in 10 minutes, by the way.
Once every 2 weeks, we'll find a really good fight.
Yeah. We had a pretty cool one with you guys recently. We had a nice 3v3. It was
that was fun.
I can't remember what the teams were exactly, but it was pretty fun. Yeah, those ones are nice. We had 6 pretty decent guilds on the same node, so that was fun.
I wonder if more guilds would participate in Node Wars if they didn't get blasted by siege guilds the moment they go to T2s.
We don't want to be on T2s. Trust me. I hate... our builders hate T2s just because the bases get run over. We want to be on T3s, but just the fights are on the T2s more.
Yeah. Tim says, yeah, you can buy all your gear from the central market, but what are people supposed to do with the hundreds of Valks they get? Also, the reason Frosty likes the enhancement system so much is because of how RNG carried it is. Must be nice.
I can answer that.
I'm not RNG carried. What can you do with the Valks?
Buying distos and enhancing.
Yeah, dude.
For
gambling.
This is all that you're willing to lose. And don't be too salty when you do lose it, because it'll probably happen.
Yeah, if you want to gamble for fun, I mean, you don't. It's not like you have to do something with the Valks either. Rezlar has 1 million stack. Don't you really not use your fail stacks, Rez? Or you weren't for a really long time?
Well, yeah. Now that I've been enhancing Black Stars, I'm pretty out. But I had probably 2 full rows of storage of fail stacks, some of which were going up to the teens in terms of the amount that I had. I'd have 15, 20 stacks, fucking 11, 30 stacks, etc., etc.
So that's great. Just save that for Dead God enhancing. That's how I view it now. You save all your mats for Dead God enhancing or gambling.
I still just feel like you should be able to sell them. Why can't we sell them? Why can't I liquidize my fail stacks that I get for free?
I said an idea like that a long time ago, put on the forums, and no feedback.
I don't know about that one. Because I would like to be able to buy like a 300 stack to try to make a
That's what I'm saying.
try Dead God more reliably.
Some people are just really unlucky, and maybe they're just tired of enhancing, and they just want to unload it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it just seems like a win-win. Like, I don't really know why we can't. What are the downsides of being able to sell fail stacks?
No, there's some things you can do in the Pearl Shop to buy them, but it's small amounts, I think.
We are well beyond that being a care for the people of this game.
True.
Daz says, "What is up? That pet damage update. Just make them scale properly for fuck's sake."
Talking about Nova, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
He's talking about the thing where
There was the
if you
global
have
lab
sub,
change.
if you have sub 100 AP, then your pets
Oh yeah.
drop.
Yeah, that was
AP
a
as well.
weird thing.
Yeah, it was just random.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they don't scale with gear. It seems kind of weird, but maximum effort. I mean, the thing is too is they. So I was testing this with a striker. I don't. There's like seems to be a cutoff because they do scale with gear. Like strikers clones do not do the exact same damage at all AP. It literally doesn't. But so I was testing this with Rage, and like the difference is dramatic. Like they literally don't even hit me when he has only 220 AP, but when he has 269 or 261, I think he said 261 is where it stops. They like hit super fucking hard. But then everything after 261, there's like nothing. There's like no difference. So I wish they would also just reveal exactly how that works, so it's not a question, and give the reasoning as to why. I mean, the things that's weird is like it kind of works for Striker, and even Tamer to some extent, but some of the other ones, like right now, Nova feels really weird. I know a lot of Wake and Wiz Witch complain about their pets, so I'm not really sure. It's just a strange thing.
Yeah,
Also, the
there's a lot
Mystic
of weirdness
Dragon
with
does
it.
like no damage either. Maximum Effort says, "Sup guys, I left the game nearly a year ago for the third time, and again I feel like playing it. This time for 1 year, it seems there's tons of new stuff in the game, and I'm totally lost. Can you TLDR of the most important things that happened in the last year for me? Also, is there any new ways to spend your energy? I don't like life skilling at all." You can exchange your energy for EXP buffs or for the Night Vendor. They buffed the Night Vendor. I don't know, what's a TLDR
probably
for the last year?
Probably still the best thing to do with your energy if you're not a life skiller is just turning it into energy pots.
Oh yeah.
And then either just saving them for when you do want them eventually, or you can sell them. Although selling them isn't really super profitable, but make some money.
Wait, someone help me with the TLDR. What happened in the last year? Successions came out.
Yep.
New Rabams. Odalita's out. And was Manos less than a year ago, or about a year ago, or right around that time? Or has it been more than a year now?
No, I think it's been more than a year, I'm pretty sure.
Bartering became a thing and popular, and is a fairly efficient way to make some good money while doing something chill. Cooking is super prevalent now. I don't know.
That's what
Succession Witch and Wizard are fucking busted.
What'd you say? Oh yeah, Succession Wizard runs the server.
If you're not cooking for easy profit every day, those crates, you're wasting time. Just get on Guru 1 cooking now, guys.
That sounds
I'm
hard.
sure most of us here in this comms have it, but
Nope.
like anyone in
I'm
chat.
lazy.
I have
Nope.
Guru 20.
What?
I'm lazy.
I know Nayashi's on it. But no, you guys really should. Just set your
No, thank
workers
you.
up right. You buy
Nope.
meat and peppers.
Mm-mm.
Me and Rez are gonna do a duo cooking grind together on stream. It's gonna be great.
Man, that's gonna be amazing.
It's really easy money, but to each their own.
You know what's easier money? Not playing this game and collecting my family fame.
True.
John Terra says, nice flex, 39 billion silver. Yeah, I caved and bought a Penkutum again, even though I sold my Penkutum. But I kind of lucked out because I sold my Penkutum for almost 16 bill and was able to buy it for like 13.6.
Wow.
So it's not too bad. I think I basically broke even after tax, or close to even.
Pretty much, yeah. You probably made a little bit of profit, but minimal.
I don't think so. I think I got a little screwed there, but we'll see. I'd have to calculate it. But yeah, grinding without the Kutum, even on Hashashin, I was just like, it's just too much damage loss. The Muffin Muncher says buffing cannons just shows that PA knows nothing about Node War and Siege in this game. Cannons need nerfs, not buffs.
First off, let's talk about that name.
Well, the Muffin Muncher.
Musher.
Well, they're not. You have to use the auras, right, to get the buffed cannons in this new Node War system. So it's like they're not necessarily just buffed like without a cost. You have to use like Zarka's auras, or I don't know which auras were for the damage, but they're kind of a ripoff.
30% more damage.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth it.
They're also a ripoff if they don't design some way to change between ammo types in the fucking cannon or flame tower or Watcha.
Yeah.
It's literally just gonna be dead content if they don't do that, because no one's. Like, it's just too much of a
Already
hassle.
dead content. No one's gonna fucking spend their auras on that shit.
Yeah, well, that's actually what. Yeah,
don't
no one's
know.
going to do that. No one ever.
No, they are. They are.
Scarleta's like, oh, shit,
Competitive
we
guilds
had to-
definitely are. It's just the cost ratio to cannons is like at first it's gonna be fine because people just have auras saved up forever, right?
Mhm.
But eventually, dude, it's like one. What you have to use an aura for only 5
one
shots.
per shot.
Isn't it 5 shots, or am I thinking 5 oil
is it
for the
5?
flame tower? Maybe
I
it's
thought
the-
it was 1 per 2. It's 1 per 5, but that's still too much. It should be, I think, the cannon itself, or even the building structure should be upgradable with the
with
auras.
an aura. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you
I
run the
think
risk
See,
of
that
it-
would actually be interesting, because then it's like you have different types of cannons doing different things, and maybe
Yep.
you don't give a shit if they use this cannon, but if they use this cannon, it's like, oh fuck, we got to get that down right away.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, make it visually different, distinct. Yeah.
one aura equals 5 cannonballs. Which,
Yeah.
how fast do you go through 5 cannonballs? 30 seconds? 25 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, they go through a lot. Our special teams guys, a lot. Like 300. So do that math.
Yeah, 300.
Guess they got to do Nuver a lot.
Get your asses to Nuver. It's a guild,
Guild
requirement,
requirement,
Vertex.
nice.
Yeah, if you're not at Nuver, we're kicking you out of the guild.
And that's the thing. Can we even transfer our balls to them? Oh boy,
Woof.
that's you shouldn't say that out loud. But
Well,
yeah,
nowadays
it's like
possible.
can we even do that? Yeah,
Fucking Nayashe. That's the first funny thing he's ever said.
no.
Well, I don't know. There was that one thing where he said, what was it again? It was like, often is better for Zarka or something along those lines.
Yeah,
That was
something.
pretty entertaining.
Something. I use a Ofen. Yeah.
Yeah, something Ofen plus Toro spell. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'll
Something
just
like
say
that.
that.
How do you say? How do you say often, Scarletta? Do you say often or often?
You know what? I probably said it both ways, but if I were to say it like off the cuff,
about-
I would say often.
What about
If
the,
I-
what about
if-
the
if
AP
I asked you-
offhand?
What offhand?
The AP offhand, the boss one that's orange.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Fiery Nuver?
Okay.
What about the items that you put into your gear to make them stronger? Like once they're at pen.
Caphras.
Okay.
So Nayashe says Kafirs, he says Ofen, and he says Nover. But I told him that it's totally okay because some people also say Opals and Bononos, so it's like not that big of a deal.
Hey, sometimes I'll say instead of a washer, like a washing machine, a washing machine.
Are you from
Warrior.
Are you from Washington?
No, I'm from Arizona.
Oh, dude, that I feel like everyone up in up north, like the West Coast, the northern, like the Northwest is like, I don't know, dude. They love to say wash. I've noticed. It's kind of a strange thing. Up in Washington, they like to wash stuff. Yeah, where's that R even coming from, man?
For my family, it comes from Michigan.
Vel, by the way. I just realized.
Val is up. He is doing his thing.
People in Washington are upset that I said that. I've heard too many people from Washington State say Washington and that they want to wash their clothes. And it's like subtle. I'm exaggerating the R, but they say it where it's like, are you saying wash? They're like, what do you, no. And then when they enunciate, it's like, I'm saying wash. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I was washing my clothes and I'm like, wait, you said wash again. I think you just said wash. No, I'm saying wash. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, back to my story. I was saying washing. I'm like, wait, you're saying wash. Stop saying it wrong. I don't know. Someone's saying it's a Canadian thing. Maybe that's why I've noticed people from Washington are saying it. Bunch of Canadians up there.
You could explain the Michigan thing too.
All right. That's the end of the comments. We have no more comments. If you want to comment on the show, we read it every single week. Do so. We'll read it and reply and hear your feedback. And if you want to complain, disagree with us, that's fine. We also stream generally, so if you want to be in the chat live while we're recording the podcast every Sunday around 10 a.m. PST, we start recording. Are we gonna all do a Vel bundle opening together? You gonna stick around for that,
Yeah, we
Scarleta?
Sure, yeah.
Alright,
I actually didn't have to take off really, so
We're gonna
I
do
can get my
a
crons.
countdown, dude. We're gonna do a countdown and we'll all click at the same time. One of us is gonna do with 4 people. We're definitely gonna get it. Someone will
Dude,
do
I
it.
dodged it. Dude, I'm so good at Tamer.
Nice. Were you holding WW down?
Yeah, I was just doing WW over and over and over again.
You use
I won't
Tree-Climbed.
be harassed this time, guys. So I can open it right when you count down.
Hey, crazy. You're not gonna be grabbed. All right. Swap I'm gonna swap characters, pull it out, and then I'll do a little countdown.
Likewise.
All right. Do you stream at all, Scarleta?
I do not know.
Nothing
Never.
like that.
All right, where
just
can people
had
find
that-
you, dude? What's your recruitment message to the masses?
More Succ wizards. We'll take some awakened Zerkers too. But yeah, if you're not 650 plus, you really don't have a shot.
If
Would
you're
you take a Succession Tamer if they were like 7-10 gear score?
I actually don't think that exists.
wait, what's the minimum gear rec for a Succession wizard?
I mean, I can't even say 640 anymore because like Dead God's out. It's like,
It's like 650.
yeah, I mean that's pretty much the standard.
And for everyone else, for every other class, what's their gear rec?
Oh,
for you
they
guys?
better have like front page war scores. They better be like already known basically.
See, that's the difference between the classes, man.
It is.
It's crazy. Like there's literally like that is, just say it out loud. There's literally a different gear score requirement in all guilds that care about Node Wars for that class. It's lower because they just want that class than everyone else. It's actually insane.
Yeah.
What about in terms of recruitment? What about Succession Witch? Do you say the same thing for that as Succession Wizard? Or is that like somewhere in between, like normal recruitment and Suck Wizard?
Usually, if they're a witch, they're awakening for PvP. No one really applies. I've never actually seen an applicant to us that was Suck Witch for PvP, like trying to get into the guild that way. They usually have a tag wizard or
Feels bad.
yeah, that's just how it is.
All right,
Double TP.
you guys ready to open these?
I'm ready.
All right.
Yep.
Hover over it. We're gonna open it on go. I'm gonna count down from 3. Here we go. Someone's getting a fucking heart.
Nash, you ready?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Get out of that Zerker's arms, Nashi.
All right, hold on.
Dude, that shit was so funny during the tier list when Rezlar's like, I need your full attention, Nayashi. You gotta stop what you're doing. Alright, you ready?
Almost.
Oh my god. Are you like tiger blading all the way back to town or something?
Did his tiger plating
All
across
right,
the
now,
water?
now.
Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Ugh.
Oh,
Hell yeah, Kaffers.
Rez?
No.
Oh, you trash, dude. Anyone get a 100 mil gold bar?
No.
Damn it, dude. Why is this shit so hard? My God.
I've never gotten a Vel,
Ugh.
and I haven't missed that many.
I dueled a Valkyrie, and the deal was whoever wins, you stand over the body and you pop it. So let's see if he get his, because I beat him.
What? You beat a Valkyrie? You don't even have a grab. It's crazy.
We were just doing a quick duel.
Oh, okay.
You get it.
Don't need
Did you
grabs
get
for
it?
quick duels. I got you. Cool. So,
He didn't get it either. Fuck.
That's
Bell's a scam. Bell is a scam.
that's the end of that. Rezlar, you want to close us out? Thanks again, Scarleta, for hanging out, man. It was awesome, and like I said,
thank you.
It's been fun.
It'll be cool once we get the node war changes and we've had it for a little while, bringing you back on, maybe get a couple of GMs on that node war and siege and stuff, and have kind of a little round table discussion on how it is. Would be kind of fun.
That'd be good to have it from like a siege perspective, from like a T3 perspective, and then maybe even on down from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. If you are interested in joining a siege guild, consider joining VRTX. Obviously, if you're not a Succ wizard, you got quite a bit of a gear score requirement to obtain, but dope guild, dope community, been around for quite a long time, and yeah, appreciate you coming on, Scarleta. Thank you so much. Thanks again to all of our.
You're only like 7 hours of leveling away from being able to apply to VRTX. That's it.
Thanks again to all of our patrons and everybody who watches us on our individual Twitch streams. Like Frosty said, if you want to watch this live, we are usually, at least one person is streaming it every Sunday, if not all three of us. You can catch those streams at twitch.tv/SoFrosty, Nyashi_NA, and NotReslar. Also leave a comment on the video. We read all the comments every episode. Tier list is out. It is officially out. It was released on Wednesday, which is probably what we should have opened the show with for people who didn't know. Tier list is out, so go check it out. We spent a good couple hours talking about it. We made 2 separate lists, one for overall PvP and then one for PvE. We decided to make the PvE separate since we kind of have less to say about it, and we didn't really want that factoring into the PvP list. So go check that out. And yeah, that'll be it, guys. We'll catch you next week.